We are 2 episodes into season 3 now, and it has been quite the fucking ride, wouldn't you say?
I don't even know. I'm still on the boat, to be honest.
You're on the boat.
Crossing the river.
I'm in the chemical plant, so
You're in the chemical plant. That makes sense, considering what happened there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, so
Yeah.
we asked a question
We
to
asked many
the audience.
questions. Yes. What was your question?
No. I'm saying we asked the audience a question about who would sink the boat. Because there's a boat in this episode, everybody. Spoiler alert.
If you haven't listened / watched the episode, turn this off and go watch the fucking episode. Don't come to us first.
Exactly. So they steal a boat. I asked everyone on Twitter who would sink the boat, and the winner was everyone together at 39.2%. In second place was Raylla, obviously, at 30.4%. Third place tally, 22.8%, and Scylla with a whopping 7.6%. So it seems like everyone thinks that it would be a group effort to sink the boat. And I agree, because I think it would be a situation where things just got out of hand fight-wise. So, bickering, and then one thing leads to another.
As they basically did in this episode, so, but just not over sinking a boat.
Exactly.
So yeah, thanks for your participation, guys. Unfortunately, there was no boat sinking, but the hypothetical was fun. And we actually asked this question to one of our interviewees in an up-and-coming episode, so you'll have to tune in to our bonus episodes coming up to figure out who it was and what they said.
Yes, it was a very good answer.
It was a beautiful answer. What a lovely interviewer, or interviewee, rather. We also had a different question that we asked during the last episode about the now famous copy machine in the Dodger warehouse, where we asked, how many copies of Raylla body parts do you think were plastered all over that warehouse in the month time that they were there? All right. So we had a submission from a YouTuber named Little Boots, who said 365, so like one for each day of the year, which is a pretty damn good guess. Keep in mind, there's a lot of freaking paper in that place. Did you have a guess, Bree, for how many Raylla body parts there were?
Before I say that, I want to go back to the 365, because it just dawned on me in my head that it's a day-by-day calendar of Raylla body parts.
Yeah, could you imagine? You know those like little ones where you like,
yeah, exactly. You turn them. Yeah.
Is that what you're saying, Little Boots?
Yes.
Holy shit!
I love it.
Okay, now follow-up question. So who made the calendar? Like, who was the one that collated all this? And then who was gifted the calendar, do you think?
So collated the whole thing. I cannot see. I think Nikta.
Nikta put it all together?
Nikta put it together.
Okay.
And gifted it to who would or Tally, because Tally was very good with the paper.
That's EP Caitlin's guess is Tally for the collator.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Tally.
Wait, what if they tag team, because they're besties now?
Yeah, that's right. So they they did.
Okay,
they tag teamed it, and they gifted it to Abigail.
Yes. Okay. Because giving it to Raylla would be pointless. They'd be like, "Yeah, we look good."
Like, "Yeah, damn, we look good."
It would be fucking funny.
So giving it to Abigail would be A, funny, and B, be like, "Look how good Rayla's sex life is."
Yeah, you're out here having the worst role play verbally ever with your man, and this is what the gays are up to. So rethink your life choices, maybe.
Sex shaming the hets and that
it's what we do on Big. No kink shaming to anybody. Okay, so I guess it evolved into a gift. Okay, what's your guess for how many copies there were?
So my guess is, weight. I don't think there's a number you could count. I think it's just like infinite, like pieces of elbow and butt going around.
The visual of infinite elbows.
Yeah, because it's just that awkward one elbow on the. Yeah, exactly.
Just keeps going.
And really, it's like a Rorschach test because you're like, what the hell is that?
What do you see
in
this ink blot? Okay, I love that. Okay, I was okay. Originally, I was between like too many to count. And then my numeric guess is 4,320, which is one copy for every minute during that 1 month period, because it was just constantly going.
Oh, you are smart. You're the smart one.
All right. And then we have one last guess from EP Caitlin, who says 80,085 amounts of copies, and they're trying to sell it on Craigslist to who? Who's in the market for that?
Boobs?
Like Xerox boobs.
Who's like, hey, I would like some fugitive boobs.
Oh, you're spelling boobs with the number? Oh my god.
Oh, we just got trolled. She's younger than us. We should have gotten that.
So flip those calculators upside down, guys.
Exactly.
Treat. All right. So thank you to everybody who participated in that.
Yes.
That's what happened with that copier. Let's say the Dodgers did not buy it for that purpose, but the Fugitives got their money's worth.
Exactly. They broke it. Let's be honest.
They broke it. That was their parting gift before they left.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So, new episode.
New episode. So the name of this episode is The Price of Work, and that title does get called out kind of halfway through the episode. We'll point it out. This one was written by Brian Studler and directed by the awesome Amanda Tapping. So 2 in a row for Amanda. Love to see it. We love you, ma'am. And this time, we open up the scene in a super random location. The title card reads Southern Iran, and it looks like this very deserted part of the country. And going on in this vast amount of nothingness in southern Iran is one of the drilling sites for the Camarilla's super secret, very well funded Kill the Mycelium project. And so Albin's arriving at this site, and he is checking in on the drilling operation, and the guy in charge of construction is like, yo, man, we've tried all these damn drills and it's not working. It's not getting through. It's like whatever the hell we're drilling into, it's like fighting us. Like we can't break through it. And Albin's like, looks amused. Like he's like, yeah, I'm not surprised by this one bit. All of my scholarliness about this has pretty much told me that that's what's going to happen. But keep going. Try different drill bits. So they off screen swap out the drill bits and to a flatter one, I think is what they say, and it works enough to create a hole in the ground. And they're like, cool. And then Albin's all like poetic out of nowhere to this drill man who like really doesn't care. He's just trying to go home. He's like, listen, I did my job. Can I leave? But Albin's like, listen, no, he said something like, faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance in what we do not see. So that's Albin speak for like, let Jesus take the wheel now and pour that fungicide in that hole, which is what they do. And as that's happening, it's like gallons and gallons of this like toxic stuff is going into the hole, into the mycelium. And Albin notices this like little mycelial fruiting body, which is a mushroom. It starts like shriveling as the fungicide goes in there. And so he sinisterly smiles like, yes, my master plan is working. And then we cut to the theme song.
Okay, so what I got out of this scene, besides the fact that they're now actually poisoning the mycelium, is that Hearst is a giant evil fortune cookie.
I mean, yes. We already knew that. That's the earth and the sky. And like he's constantly dry snitching on himself and like so proud of his like knowledge of like all of this that he can't help himself. He like wants to spill the tea, but he thinks that no one knows what the tea is. But enough people have heard the tea that they're going to start putting it all together. This drill man he's telling does not give a fuck though. He's like,
no, he doesn't.
You don't pay me enough for this.
Exactly.
Who the fuck are you? You sign my paychecks. Get out of here, man.
Yeah, he's just like, can I die? Can I just do this quicker, please?
Right, why must we have dramatic monologues? I'm a construction worker.
Like, this is not my Jesus takes the wheel moment. This is my let's go the hell home and have dinner moment.
Yeah, he's like, "It is 10 minutes past my shift. Like, can we I wanted to tell you the drill was broken. God damn it."
I love that my most notable note on this entire scene is Hurst is happy. Gross.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of gross stuff in this episode.
There is. I'm not here for it. There's some cuteness too coming up, so
There are some competitors in this episode for the Laura Neal Award. So if you have a winner by the end, I have one. So
I mean,
there's contenders.
of course.
We'll get there.
So, speaking of boats and thievery, we're at a marina in the next scene. And it's pretty obvious that Raylla is the boat lesbian here because Scylla cannot pick the right one to save her life.
Don't know nothing about boats. The way she talks about the ocean and lighthouses, you'd be like, she knows stuff. She don't know a damn thing.
She don't know a damn thing about boats.
She don't know a damn thing about
boats. She literally just stood on the beach. That's all she did.
Right. She was a land dweller.
And Raylla's out here like stealing boats and going frogging at midnight in the Cession.
Yeah.
If you don't know what that is, frog gigging, never mind. All right, so they're looking for a boat that's big enough to carry everyone so they can escape to the Cession. Basically, Abigail's tired of being the lookout. As usual, she needs to just fucking chill, but she can't and won't. That's the theme of this episode. One of the themes of this episode for me is Abigail should take a chill pill.
Abigail needs therapy and like Xanax.
Good Lord. Yeah.
Anyway, for her mental health and for ours.
And better role playing.
She needs a sex therapist. Like, listen. Anyway.
Absolutely. Nick, Tally, and Kalita are kind of not on the marina property. It looks like they're outside the fence just watching. And Nick is not very happy about working with so many couples, which I think is funny.
I love that. And it's like, Nick, Tally's right there.
Yeah, like, I know. Like you could
right there. Go be a couple.
Literally just turn to the left.
He's right there. Like you could also be a couple and see what it's like to work with couples when you're part of a couple.
Exactly.
We're just saying. Even Kalita could see that. She's like, I thought you
guys were.
You guys. Oh,
you didn't make the calendar, so I just thought that was.
I thought that was your role play.
Yeah, that's how you guys get your yayas.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, whatever. Sure, guys. Sure.
Tally tells her that you get used to it, and I'm like, do you though? But sure, okay.
Wait, wasn't Tally the woman in the last episode who was like, way to make a girl feel single?
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
That's a lie.
She's out here, you get used to it.
That's code for Nick to date me. That's what that was for. Like, let's be a couple.
Hi, how you doing, girl?
How you doing?
And then Nicta just doesn't get it.
No, Nicta doesn't know how to be flirted with. It's obvious.
No, or how to flirt.
No. She's getting better. She's getting better. She has no idea.
So cute. Then Tally kind of was like, well, it must be harder for Kalita, because there's nobody her age. And she's like, listen, bitch, I have been here. I have put up with all of this for years.
Kalita's also like, you guys act like you're my age. So it's really not that weird.
It's like, we're the same age mentally. So.
Right, exactly.
Like, actually, I'm a little more mature than you guys.
It's like those Dodger kids were a lot more mature than all of you.
Exactly. Like, at least they could, I don't know, not explode things or whatever. Everything that they've done wrong, they would change their faces.
Thank you. They probably have as Dodger.
Yeah, it's true. That's true. So after all of that little bit of Kalita being like, well, it was nice to have, other kids around for a second, we go back to the gays. Scylla points out a tiny motorboat, and Raylla's like, oh yeah, perfect for just you and me. And then she kind of walks off, and Scylla's uncertain and a little bit sad, and she says, yeah, straight to the lighthouse. Like, she's getting discouraged that the dream's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And it makes me sad to see Scylla sad. And even sadder when we have to go back to Hetland. But hey,
Before we
what
go
can you
back
do?
to Hetland,
Oh
just
God.
moment of appreciation for Scylla in her leather jacket.
Let's holy hell.
Let's just have that now.
Bisexual Queen Scylla in her
I
leather
drink
jacket.
for Lesbian Jesus and her visual in this scene.
Listen.
Because damn.
I mean, and it's not just the leather jacket, it's the waistcoat.
Yes.
Holy hell.
Yes. It's the best kind of leather jacket.
If you put Scylla in a leather jacket and a tweed waistcoat, that's my catnip.
It is, actually. Those
Jeez.
are
Facts.
So
yeah.
Take that mental image going back into Hetland. You'll feel better.
All right. I will keep that in mind.
Yes.
So back in Hetland, Abigail leaves the deal to watch over the sleeping guard while she goes to check on the gays.
Teamwork. This is how that couple operates. Well, fuck
exactly.
you. Bye.
Fuck you. Bye. I'm bored. You can take him.
The problem with Abigail is she's just like doesn't know what to do without like army combat shit. So she's like trying to start fights with everybody.
Exactly. Yeah, that's why she needs some damn Xanax.
She does. Oh my god.
So Raylla finds the perfect boat with an Exodus 22:18 sticker on it, which is a passage from the Bible, thou shalt not suffer a witch to live, which is fabulous and wonderful bigotry.
Yep. Yikes was my note.
Yeah. So it is the perfect boat for them to steal, because why would a witch steal a boat with that on it? Also, it's the right size and not too loud.
Also, like, fuck that bigot. I'm going to steal your boat.
Exactly. I'm going to steal your boat, bastard.
Yeah. So it works on many levels. So this was a smart move.
Exactly. And Scylla ripped that sticker off anyway.
She burned it.
Yeah. Well, seeing the whole sticker thing kind of affects Scylla. So Raylla catches on and reassures her by being all sweet and cute, and we get lovely girlfriend time for a hot second. Raylla, says, come here, and they kiss, and she's like, we'll go away together, just you and me someday soon. Which is, and then she's like, oh, kiss your forehead and your hand. Like, Raylla, it's just like, she's going to kiss every inch of Scylla by the end of this episode. I swear to ever loving. But,
she's trying, man.
She is. The problem with this whole thing is that Abigail overhears. And she doesn't take too kindly.
If she was being lookout, she wouldn't have heard this. So this, Abigail, you did this to yourself, girl.
Yeah, this is your own fault.
This is your fault.
You done fucked up. If you leave the gays alone, you will be a happier person. They'll be happier people. She needs to mind her own business.
Mind your damn business, exactly.
So yeah, that's the conclusion of that scene. And I, for one, was happy with the cuteness.
The cuteness was very cute. I just wanted to note one thing about the lighting in their scene, the gays, not anybody else, when they're on the boat being all cute. So if you look in the background, the light in this scene, it's blue light and yellow light. It's not green. So typically when you have like Raylla and Scylla scenes, it's like a combination of like their light. It's just the first time you've ever heard us talk about this. Blue light is like necro light. It's like Scylla's light. Yellow is Raylla. She's the sun, lesbian Jesus, all that stuff. So there's like the colors are separate, but they're together. Whereas in season 2, we saw a lot of like green, which is like the combination of blue and yellow. So it's almost like hinting that like even though they're talking like they're together, they're not. Something's gonna pull them apart. It's like designated
foreshadowing.
By the light. It's foreshadowing light, so that made me nervous. Yeah.
Everything makes me nervous now that they're together.
Yep. It's just that whole trauma of like the queer media has instilled on
It
us.
is. It
Like
is.
something terrible's gonna happen because they're
It's been 20
happy.
years and I'm still not over it.
I'll never be over it. So,
No.
yep,
And we just keep getting traumatized over and over again.
we do. That's why there's a Laura Neal Award. All right.
Precisely.
Yeah. So, fun scene. And after that, we move over to the business side of the episode, which is Em and Anacostia in Anacostia's office, I think. And they're like being good intelligence officers, poring over photos of like Wade and like various government people. And they're talking about Cara Brandt, who's despicable and definitely a future Laura Neal Award recipient. And she's like their Camarilla member of like interest at the moment, and they're talking about how like, well, she's clearly like got a bunch of money, but like based on what we found about her, like she does charity work. It's just there's nothing insidious in here. She looks pretty clean, like from what we could gather. But like we know she's terrible because they saw her in the last episode having a meeting with VP Silver and Albin, and they were talking about like the Mycelium Death Project. So they're trying to find something solid to like tie her to the Camry is what they're doing. But they kind of can't find anything. So ultimately they're like, okay, whatever. We obviously can't pin her, but we know she's Camarilla. The bigger question here that we really need to figure out is like, whose side is the president really on? Because like what we saw from seasons, the previous ones, Wade hated Alder, so she doesn't seem super friendly to witches. She fought the testing center stuff. Obviously, she's mad because Alder was pulling some bullshit, puppeting her and pushing her and all that stuff. And now it seems that she has Camarilla people surrounding her. So like, is she on the payroll with the Camarilla? And like, do we need to worry about the president? And so they noticed that like in Kelly's cabinet is like the basically like the government officials that are like work closest with her, like Albin's in there. So like, wow, fuck, like the Camry it's not just VP Silver, it's like Albin's in there, who's like the big doctor man, like crap. Like she's really surrounded by these people. So they're like, well, what do we do? We can't just fetch her. She's the president. Like it's impossible to get like our intelligence magic in there. Like we have to get like actually close to her. So M suggests, well, Sterling is VP Silver's like head security witch. Is there any way he can like work some magic, so to speak, and get somebody else on Wade's detail so you can get a person near her to like help figure this out? And honestly, Em and Anacostia make a fucking awesome team because they had all of their brain cells, and this is an amazing plan.
It is.
They're actually
Best
doing
plan of
spy
the
stuff.
episode.
Best plan of the episode. This who taught them espionage because they both got it down. Like this is going places.
I have a feeling Anacostia's infiltration score was really high as well, so.
Oh yeah, in like not just physical but like magical and probably multiple ways. Like she's awesome. And so they're a very good team.
She has a better partner now that she doesn't have Scylla.
Yeah. Scylla does her best, but this would never work if it was Scylla. Needs to be M.
No, it wouldn't. So there we go. I love that. I love that they're working together. It's the new Anacostia partnerhood thing going on. I enjoy it. So
I enjoy it a lot.
What I don't enjoy is Cara Brandt.
No, fuck that bitch.
Yep.
Yeah, fuck that bitch. I hate her name.
Fuck
I hate
that
everything
bitch
about
in the
her.
worst way.
Ooh, yeah.
But back to the fugitives. So they get off the boat that no one sank, even though I'm pretty sure they would have, after crossing the river, and they go to the checkpoint that will get them into the Cession. Raylla is in the lead, obviously, because this is her territory. This is what she knows. Everyone should fucking listen to her, even though Nicta's going to give her lip in a minute.
Listen, Nicta's lived there too.
Nicta's lived there too, but Nicta doesn't know.
She evaded them for 30 years.
She didn't evade the marshals. The marshals knew she was there.
Right. It leaves questions though. Why? They had to choose to not pick her up.
Because Nicta wasn't on TV.
Yeah,
Nicta was like brushed. They don't give a shit. Nicta was under the Nicta. They don't. Here's my read of this session. They don't give a shit what happens in the U.S. Like, they can do their own thing. They're a separate entity. We don't give a shit about them, except where it interferes with us. And so when they have to have higher governmental back and forth, like they would when the actual U.S. government is trying to find these people, they would actually catch them. Whereas with Nicta, they're like, oh, well, this isn't actually on the radar of the U.S. government or even the army, so I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, because, like, Alder erased Nicta from history, so
Precisely.
why would they know who Nicta is? But also, like,
Or care.
I think the Cession people wouldn't have given a fuck about the fugitives if they hadn't, if they don't, like, blow up shit later in the episode. That's when they're like, you destroyed our property, now we're fucking. Yeah. So spoiler, if they had followed, like, Mama Costia's plan, and they were just like, hey, don't do anything, just get us intel, the Cession marshals wouldn't have given a fuck.
I don't think that was ever going to happen because Abigail was there.
Yes, Abigail.
And Nicta. I mean, Nicta was pretty gung-ho about going in, too, but I mean, Scylla even was, I don't think she was as much, but she was willing to change the plan really fast.
I mean, they collectively talk about it before they leave. They're like, if we get new intel and we need to do stuff, let's do stuff. So they kind of all decided together, but, like, I think that's what triggered the marshals, not just them being there.
Yeah, and to be fair, it was Hearst. We'll talk about that later.
We'll get there later.
Hold on 1 second.
Yeah. Bree, hold on. I couldn't hear you. I don't know if Caitlin was having the same issue. Are you muted? There we go. There we go.
All right.
Take two.
Take two.
Take two.
So Raylla's leading the group, and she tells them that they all have to make it past this Cession checkpoint when the wards are lifted to let this car through. They're all waiting for the guards to check out the car and lift the wards. And Tally's a little dubious about the possibility of them all getting through the checkpoint before the wards come back. Well, you're just going to have to. Raylla's basically like, well, we have to. That's the only option.
It's like famous last words. If Tally hadn't said this, it would have been fine.
Yeah, exactly. So she's like, if the wardens catch us, we'll be extradited, et cetera, et cetera. Nicta thinks that the wardens are a fairy tale to scare children, and kind of makes fun of Raylla a little bit, to which Raylla does not take kindly. He's just like, listen, bitch, you know what I'm talking about. And Nicta's like, well, I've been doing this for a long time, kid. Raylla's like, yeah, sure, but I still know more about the Cession than you do. And that's like my read of that whole interaction. But it doesn't matter because the wards lift, everybody runs, Kalita trips.
Of course.
Abigail runs back and grabs her, and in a heroic effort, jumps across to get a touchdown into the Cession land.
We made it!
We made it! So basically, we get to see Abigail and Kalita have a little bonding moment where she's like, I got you, boo.
We do.
Yeah, so we're in the Cession now.
We are sure in the Cession now. It's cool the way they have the border, because it's not just like a physical border on a map. They're like, no, we are going to magically seal ourselves in here so you bitches cannot come in the Cession without us knowing.
And I say, cool. Good job.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
It's an awesome system. I'm here for it.
And then my other question about this was like, so we kind of talked about it earlier. So like, obviously the marshals must have seen Nicta and her multiple faces while she was going in and out of the Cession. And they obviously didn't do anything. Would them seeing her at one point come to bite her in the ass, like when they eventually capture them?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's a good question. I don't know. You know.
I don't know if they keep score like that. They're like, well, you crossed our border like 500 times. Like, do they have like a list of her crimes? Like, if they have to bring them up,
Right?
I don't know.
Listen,
If they see all, you know,
they're like, we've seen your true face.
well, now they have for sure. But like, yeah, I wonder if they have like a list of like NICTA crimes, and they're gonna bring it up at some point and be like, listen, you need to sit down because we have all of your crimes here when you're in the session.
It's about the size of all of the paper from the Raylla calendar put together.
Yeah, there's a NICTA crime per day calendar, and they're like, here's
Exactly.
your crime of the day. And NICTA's like, looking through it, and she's like, I remember that one.
Yeah.
Good times. Good times. Good times.
That was good.
Thanks. Allie, you want to see?
Look, Sally, this is my favorite one right before I went on vacation. Wow.
Exactly. I love
Our
it.
head canons are just delightful.
They are. I get mad when I don't see them in the show.
Oh
but who knows? We might see that. It hasn't happened yet. Anyway,
Yeah.
so after the fugitives successfully make it into the session without losing anybody or limbs, good for you, Kalita, we hard cut to the witch gardens of Fort Salem, where Isadora is preparing to serenade the gardens with a phonograph.
I was thinking a phonograph. This girl's old school. Like, she got that out of Alder's office. Like, the Alder, like, no, Petra put it in the storage and she got it out of storage.
She's like, listen, I need something. Because they don't have music lessons. Like, listen, she grabbed a phonograph. Who knows where that came from? How long that's been there? It's probably like Alder's phonograph from the first phonograph ever. She has it. She's under her huppah. And she's like, yes, instead of me vaccinating people, I'm going to play this song for the low pressure system that's still storming overhead. And she's surrounded by a bunch of minions. Like, I don't know if she was just like, I need all these active duty people, Petra. Fuck you. I need them. Or they're necros. I don't really know. Nobody's in a white coat except her. They have these like glass jars with like beaker funnel. They look like beaker kind of things with funnels. And they're holding them. Like, they're going to collect stuff like rainwater or some shit, which is what they end up doing. And so she starts playing the instrumental version of that song Penelope keeps singing. So she's trying to like lure the voice with like the music.
It's an invitation.
Right, because you know how like people who love singing, they hear the music and then they start singing? That's what she's doing. And she's just like watching this guy super like, come on, where are you? And then the song starts happening. So like it's that same voice from the last episode where like Penelope's singing, but it keeps augmenting and distorting, and like the sky turns black and eventually starts raining that witch plague. But there's a voiceover in this throughout the augmented singing where Penelope says, I'm lost. Which way is vocal training? Which is interesting. So that's not something Penelope that was taken over by the witch plague ever said. That was something probably Penelope, the new cadet, said when it was like, I'm lost, help me. So interesting. So I wonder if that's a hint that like she actually can like get the real Penelope out of this versus like the tainted witch plague version. So very interesting. This is all super intriguing to Isadora, who's got like scientist wheels moving in her head. You can see her in her eyes this whole time. And as this is kind of happening, and she's just like, yes, let me science this, her minions go collect the rainwater, and it's like water mixed with like witch plague material. So it's this black liquid that they're all collecting in these jars. So like, Isadora's going to do science with it, which is exciting. And then she beams in her scientist way, and then we get out of there.
She lights up like a damn Christmas tree.
Yeah, because it's like, I knew it. And like, yeah, she's got like 5 different experiments going on in this one episode. It's wild.
She does. She's busy. It's an Isadora heavy science episode. I feel like she's the Bill Nye of Motherland.
She is. Well, yeah, it's true. She tries to explain, and some people are like, I don't give a fuck. Just doesn't work.
They're like,
doesn't work. I don't care. Just go science.
Yeah.
Don't tell me things.
Don't educate me.
Isadora's like,
just do it.
Just go do it. Just don't tell me stuff. Poor Stora.
It's just rude. It's what it
She
is.
does. She loves explaining. That's why she was like excited during that healing lesson where she talked to Raylla. She's
Yeah.
like, "You like this? Let's talk."
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's somewhat, and that's why Scylla was her favorite, because Scylla would sit and talk to her.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Facts.
All right. Facts.
Facts.
Speaking of Scylla.
Yes. Good transition.
Back to the camp. Well, not back to. We're going to camp. Not
Yeah,
like a camp, but
they are
they're
camping
camping
now.
out. It's the REI version of the Fugitives at their little campground that they've established. And Scylla is leaving their tent, and it's taking her 93 years for some reason.
Yeah.
I guess she's having trouble with the zipper. I don't know. Not something that the gays usually have trouble with.
Has this girl never been camping? Because, like, wasn't she a dodger, like a fugitive? She's never camped before?
I don't know, but...
I don't know. Anyway. Maybe she was a privileged dodger. We don't know.
It could have just been that particular tent has a fuzzy zipper.
There's that too. They got it on sale, obviously.
Exactly. Well, they stole it, so.
Right. It was a super sale.
No, they got it from that same thrift
it was in
shop
the boat.
she goes
it was
to
in
later.
The boat. And they're like,
it was
oh,
in the boat.
How convenient.
It's a witch hater tent.
Yeah, so like it's bewitched so that witches can't use it. She's like, damn
it. Exactly.
It's like a safety mechanism.
Precisely.
It worked.
So as she's trying to close the tent, Tally asks where Raylla is. And Scylla says she's not feeling well, so she's going to let her sleep for a few more hours. And that she's going to go into town and talk to Anacostia. And that they can move on tonight. But Nicta's like, listen, shouldn't we just chill here for a while? We could pull up a chair, get comfy, hang out. And Scylla's like, listen, Raylla was adamant that we can't stay in the session. And Nicta's like, look, this is a perfect place to get lost. I've been doing this for 30 years, etc., etc. And then Tally comes in with, I think that we should listen to Nicta. She's been on the road for 30 years, which is logical.
Immediately jumps in and defends her. It's amazing.
Yeah, and immediately after that, Abigail jumps in and says that maybe Tally should stop listening to Nicta. So here comes Abigail. Who needs to mind her own damn business.
Yes, that's what this is. She's mad that like no one's on her side. That's what she's mad at.
Exactly what she's mad about. So Scylla suggests that they continue this argument after she gets back, but
which I love. She's like, "Can we do whatever this is later?
Yeah. We can do this later, right? Because I need to go. I've got an actual thing to do." Abigail's like, well, how do we know that you and Raylla just aren't going to go off and steal the truck and, run away? And for my brain, I'm like, she just said she's leaving Raylla there. What? I know that this is not the logical part, Abigail, but Raylla's in the tent. They're not going anywhere.
Right. No.
Scylla's not leaving Raylla there. You know that bitch is coming back.
I know. What was she? Abigail was suggesting that that Scylla was gonna sneak Raylla out of the tent where no one could see, get her in the truck, and never come back.
I guess.
Abigail makes no sense sometimes when she attacks people because you're like,
yeah,
what? Like, where is your brain?
I think she's just been waiting to pounce on Scylla for a hot minute.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. To be honest, she was probably, you know what? She probably could never do it because Raylla was there, and now Raylla's asleep or whatever, and so she's like, "Well, now I can lash out at you because I still don't fucking like you."
Yeah.
Get over yourself, Abigail.
We solved that mystery. At least we know that it's just like Abigail going, "Okay, well, if Raylla's asleep now, I can be like, bitch."
Yeah, because she's just itching for a fight, like even a verbal one. Like this probably makes her feel better.
Yeah, and I'm like, that's cool for you, but. Just chill.
Literally, Xanax. Can Kalina not make you witch Xanax or something?
Thank you. Jeez. Freaking meditate. I don't know.
Yeah, you've got so much time on your hands right now. Meditate. Do yoga.
Not Scylla's problem that Earthquake Boy cannot
role play to your fancy, girl.
Exactly.
Unless that's what you're into. If you're into awkward role play, we're not king shaming anybody. She just
No.
seems frustrated is what we're getting at.
She's way too frustrated for that
Right.
to have worked for her.
Something's not going right.
Jeez.
That's
And
it.
she's jealous. She's jealous of the gays in their copier
She is. She's like, look how relaxed Tally is.
and their boat dreams.
Yeah, and like Scylla and Raylla have boat dreams. Tally is a whole new person who's like defending herself. Thanks, Nicta. So Abigail's just mad. She's in a rut. That's what it is.
Yep. So yeah, basically Abigail's being
Worst.
what's the word I'm looking, irrational, the worst
Yes.
again.
That's the word.
And Scylla's just like, listen, that's just a daydream. And I'm like, yeah, but it's not for you. That's like a real dream for you. And it is for Raylla too. I really do believe that. I really think that Raylla would love to do that. It's just, she's not in the...
Yeah, I mean, let us all recall, I forget what episode it was. What was it, Beltane season?
Yeah.
In season 1, when Raylla was the one who's like, let's run away. That was
Yeah.
Raylla's idea. So it's
Exactly.
like, yeah, this is Raylla's dream first. Then Scylla was
Exactly.
like, yeah, I like this dream. Let's like for real. Instead of just like survival, let's do it for real because we want to.
By the next episode, she's like, okay, I'm in.
Yeah.
Even though she, didn't actually get a chance to express that. But now that she has, she's just like, that's all she wants in life. And Abigail's sitting here going, bah, Raylla's mine.
Like shitting on her dream, which is so fucked up for so many reasons.
It really is.
It's like, and at this point, like with Raylla and Scylla, like the dream of like the lighthouse and like running away, it's not like a survival thing, like we'll escape the army. It's like, let's just be us together. It's like the dream of something better, not just like let's escape our situation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
An actual life.
Right, exactly. It's like that dream has like really morphed into something real, and you can kind of see it the way they're talking about it, particularly in this episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's growth.
Absolutely.
Guys.
Growth. But Abigail's comeback to this is, well, Ray never used to dream about running away. Yes, she did. Where the hell were you?
Wait a minute. Yeah, okay, this line is so stupid because it's like, were you not on the same page with the fact that Raylla hates the army? Raylla hates everything about this. And like, how do you not know Raylla would definitely ditch all of this in 5 seconds if she could? Like, she's Raylla. That has not changed about Raylla, like, ever. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Like, what is this? Is Abigail okay? Is my question. Because she says a lot of weird stuff in this episode where it's like, are you in touch with reality, like, at all? Like, is she losing it, is my question.
She is.
This is all very out of touch stuff. Like, Raylla. She would 1000% leave.
You've known Raylla for at least 2 years now, and you should know. It's like, I think Abigail's on the train of, well, we've gotten this far, and Raylla kind of changed her tune, and we're all about unity now, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Of course, I'm going to assume that no matter what, Raylla's going to be, she's just jealous. It's just jealousy and fear is what it is.
It's what it's really about is what Abigail's really saying in this sentence is like, Raylla would never leave me. That's what she's really saying. She would never break up the unit. She would never leave me. And so it's like, this isn't forever. Like, Raylla wants a life outside of all of this. Like, she's always wanted that. So it's like the whole army stuff is like crumbling and it doesn't apply anymore. And I think Abigail cannot accept that because like,
no,
even in the last episode, she's like, I have to stick to my army morals, even though we're not in the army. And now it's like, oh shit, my unit could just fuck off because the army is not forcing us together. So I think, it's jealousy. And it's also this fear of just like losing her team too. Like that's now her family.
Exactly.
Yeah. She's making this about herself is my point.
Well, that's typical Abigail
Bellwether. I know. So we have not grown past that as Abigail Bellwether.
It is in character.
No, exactly. 100,000%. But yeah, it's just, this is Abigail. We still haven't grown past this. I'm hoping she'll show some growth here this season going forward.
Yeah.
She's still here.
She's still here, old Abigail.
Still here. Old Abigail.
And I love that Scylla says, well, she dreamed about it a lot more than you even knew. Because why
Yes.
would Raylla tell you that she's dreaming about this and that she wants this? Why would she tell you when she's got Scylla, who she actually wanted to run away with and actually spoke to about this? Because all of Raylla's super secret, like, internal stuff that she would spill, she would tell Scylla.
That's what having a girlfriend is.
That's what having a girlfriend is.
Does Abigail not know how to be a girlfriend? That's okay. That's one. Maybe, because they don't teach you that in witch school. So maybe. Yeah, it's so stupid because, oh my god, why on earth would Raylla tell you that? Like, it's so weird. Like, it's just Abigail again. It's just like this is like Scylla basically telling Abigail, you really don't know Raylla as well. You think you do.
That's
And
what.
like, yeah, and so Abigail's getting more insecure about this and like jealous, like you said. Yeah. So I love that she said that line because it's true. But like to Abigail, she's like, fuck, I guess I really don't know them. I obviously don't know Tally because what the fuck is up with her? But wow, I don't know Raylla either. I thought Raylla was on my side last episode. Now it's like, fuck, like I could lose my one like last ally from the unit. Yeah, Abigail's like losing it. It's wild.
I get it, but I also want to slap her a little bit and be like,
I always want to slap Abigail. Nothing against
Yeah, me
Abigail.
too.
She just does things that are frustrating. You're like, Abigail, for fuck's sake, just like be a team player.
Yeah.
Let Raylla be happy.
Let Raylla be freaking happy for once.
And just accept Scylla makes her happy. Just get over it. We've all gotten over it. Nycta's over it. She don't like it. She don't even know you guys. Kalina's over it. Just get over it, Abigail. You've been there the whole damn time.
Here's my question. Would Abigail choose a dill over the unit if she had to?
Amazing question.
I don't think she would.
I don't think she would. No.
And I think she would resent the fact that Raylla would choose Scylla over the unit.
I think Adil needs to hear what we're saying because he don't deserve that.
Does too. He doesn't.
That poor guy, you know? Fuck, God, Abigail. Yeah, I never thought about that before, but you're totally right. She would. She'd be like, nope, army first.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's not the army. Yeah, damn. She would. She definitely would. Anywho.
Abigail has moments of brilliance, and then she has a lot of time where she's lost in her own selfish Abigail sauce, and I want to shake her.
Yes, I want to knock some sense into her. Or be like, do you hear yourself? Like, did you say it again? Say it again. Say it again. Come on, say it again. Do you hear it? Do you hear it? Do you hear where like this is fucked up? No? Okay.
Like anyway. The love that Raylla has for Scylla has withstood a lot of shit.
Yes.
And it's not going to just she's not going to just put you first because you're throwing a temper tantrum and want her to stay by your side forever.
Yep. I think being an individual is going to be super hard for Abigail.
Oh, it is.
I don't think she knows how to be an individual. She knows how to be like part of something and take orders and give orders.
And be the leader of the part.
Right. To boss other parts around. But like being just Abigail, she has no fucking idea how to do that.
No.
And that's part of, I think, the issue they're having as fugitives is nobody else is in the like structure that Abigail's keeping herself in. And she's trying to get them back in that structure with her, but nobody's doing it. And yeah, I think she's losing it a bit.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that her losing it makes Nycta lose it a little bit. Not lose it. Nycta doesn't lose it. She just, if one were to hear this without context, one might be suspicious as well. Like, I kind of get totally where Nycta's coming from with this, but she needs to know not to fucking listen to Abigail for one thing.
I don't know why Nycta doesn't understand that. As somebody who's been like anti-army for 30 years, she's a bellwether. You really shouldn't listen to her.
Don't listen to the bellwether or when on things like this, because Nycta says that she might not trust Scylla to take the truck. Abigail is like, oh good, somebody's on my side, even though it's Nycta, I'll take it. Let's go. Fuck you, Scylla.
Desperation of Abigail. She's like, I was just trash talking you 2 minutes ago, but you're on my side now. We're friends. Like, fuck you,
exactly. The friend of my friend is my no.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend. I know what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So, she's Abigail's gonna like go get in Scylla's face, and like, don't fucking get in Scylla's face because you're not gonna win. You're not gonna win.
Why has nobody learned this lesson? It's been 3 seasons.
Like, 3
why?
seasons
Why are we
of people being shitty to Scylla.
She's Scylla, Big Witch Energy Ramshorn. She can kill all of you if she wanted to.
Yeah, like when she deserved it, and most of the time when she didn't deserve it, you were being an asshole. And here you are again getting in her face about this, basically saying, because she's basically saying to Scylla, like, you can't take Raylla. She's mine. And Scylla's like, I'm not trying to take Raylla from you. Raylla and I want a life together. And unfortunately for you, doesn't really include you because
you can't join our marriage, Abigail.
Relationship.
You chose a deal.
Like 2 wives thing.
Right? No, like for real. And like, okay, I'm really tired of everybody always shitting on Scylla.
Yeah,
like Callie like clears the air a bit this episode, but like Scylla deserves, honestly, to slap everybody in this circle because like they keep shitting on her, and she's like, I'm your link of communication to the army. I'm the one that's helping you navigate. I'm the one that got you to the Dodgers, and like they're constantly shitting on her, and it's like how many times does she have to like have a redemption moment with them for them to be like, okay, we get it. You're not bad. Like you're doing good stuff. You've changed. Whatever. Like. Why must we constantly hold this grudge against her when she's done so much good? Like she's done at this point, she's done more good than bad. Like, can we get over ourselves with Scylla? It's so annoying.
I don't
like,
understand.
I want her to blow up and like slap these people because they deserve it, and she deserves to get her frustration out. Like it's Scylla, you deserve better.
Mm-hmm. That's my campaign for this season. Scylla deserves better.
Yeah, justice for Scylla.
Justice for Scylla, but
hashtag let her slap a bitch.
Yes. So Tally is the mom.
Yes.
And breaks up the fight.
The boss, okay?
She is
boss Tally in this moment.
She's boss mom Tally. She gets right in the middle of them because I think Abigail really was gonna fight Scylla if it came to that. And oh no, Scylla's shorter, but you're dead, Abigail. That's just no. So Tally gets in the middle of him and is like, Scylla's taking the truck. You can just go stew and think about it. That's the end of it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, thank you, Tally. Somebody said it.
Oh my God, I love it. I did not see that coming. Like Tally steps in and she's like, you take the truck, you shut the fuck up. End of story. I made the decision. Everybody shut up. Mm-hmm. Bye.
She's coming into her power as a person and as a witch.
Yeah. And
so I love that for her.
I love that. And like, it's really huge coming from like the last episode where one of the big things she was struggling with was like, well, if the unit wants to do this, then I'm going to do it and just go along with what they want because we make better decisions together. But like that did not pan out at all last episode. And Tally was feeling really guilty about her part and all of that. So I think in the time that has elapsed, she's much more like, I'm going to make my own decisions regardless of what the unit is saying. Because it's like, at that point, it was like, well, Abigail's the only unit person here. She wants to do this. But like Tally's like, no. This is what we're doing. I'm deciding it. That's it. So that was huge for Tally.
It was. I love that she just got in there.
Yes.
And like actually got frustrated and mad and was like, and also love. Okay, my other favorite thing about this scene is Scylla's pointing at Abigail, and her like, "You're gonna wake up Raylla."
I know. She's like, "You just shut the fuck up. She's sleeping."
Like. Let her sleep. She deserves it.
I know. Scylla was only half in that conversation, honestly.
Yeah, honestly, she was.
Honestly.
I mean, she's not scared of Abigail. She has no problem. Like, Jesus.
No, but
guff she's taken from Abigail.
I mean, like, yeah, for sure. But I mean, like, half in that conversation, as she's like, Raylla needs to sleep. I need to leave so I can come back. So she's definitely not really thinking about Abigail. She's like, can you shut up? Like, can we just get this over? This could have been over by now. We're still talking.
Exactly.
Like, so.
Why are you still talking to me? I have shit to do.
Why are you still talking? Like, Tally told us what to do.
Go fake shop for flannel.
Oh my god. Okay, I love that she grabs a flannel. I thought that was hilarious. Because she's clearly just like aimlessly grabbing things, but she grabs a flannel because Scylla loves flannel and just gravitated naturally towards
Exactly.
I love it. So after Tally literally bosses everyone around, which is amazing. Tally, like, witch mic drops and gets out of there. And she's like, I'm gonna go stew myself. Fuck you, Abigail. Kind of fuck you, Scylla. Go do your thing. Get it over with. I don't want to fight. I'm leaving. And of course, Nicta is like, well, I'm going to follow my girlfriend, so I'm going to go up to Tally. So, because Tally did not ask her to follow her, so I thought that was funny.
That was funny. I love it.
Which I don't understand this piece either, because they go by the truck, and like, wasn't Scylla supposed to take the truck? So, where did they go?
I wondered that too!
I was so confused. I was like, was Scylla like awkwardly like, well, I'm supposed to take the truck, but you guys are fighting in front of it, and everyone's mad, and I don't want to piss them off, so I gotta wait for them to finish this conversation and then take the truck. Or did they have two trucks? I'm pretty sure they just have one. So anyway, they have this argument near the truck. Maybe Scylla snuck it out of there while they were talking. I don't really know. But Nicta follows Tally to see if she's okay. She's being a good girlfriend. And she's like, are you okay, Red? Because that nickname never left, and so I love to hear it. And Tally, very like untally-like, is just like, I'm so tired of all of this bickering. Because I feel like they've been bickering just like the whole time they've been fugitives. Because like Abigail doesn't want to be a fugitive, and like Raylla doesn't want to go to the Cession. Like nobody's on the same page, and nobody's happy with their situation because their situation sucks. So they were probably at odds, and like, here's another fight. So Tally's just like, I'm just over it. I just need a break. Like, I need to cool off. And Nicta's like, yeah, I kind of get that. Because she doesn't do drama. She's a solitary creature, and she's like, I'm stuck with a bunch of teenagers, so I fucking hate this too. I just want to help now. I don't want to be in the drama. And honestly, the only reason Nicta is here having this conversation is because it's Tally. If anybody else stormed off, she wouldn't give a fuck. She'd be like, whatever, bye. But Tally looked upset, so she followed Tally. So they transition out of that conversation and start talking about Tally's knowing powers. And Nicta kind of like gives her this conversation where she's like, you know, you need to like really be careful with like your power because you have a lot of it. And that type of power can really change the world, for better or worse. And it, you know, comes at a price doing that kind of magic. And Tally like kind of fights back. She's like, you were the one that like wanted me to develop this power. And Nicta's like, yeah, you wanted to develop it too, but sure. But you have to like be careful with it, is what I'm saying. And I'm not saying don't use it, just like you gotta be careful. Like work comes at a price. This is the call to title scene. And Tally reveals to Nicta that she's more powerful than Nicta, even because Nicta's having this conversation being like, yeah, I get you're powerful, but like Tally reveals she's even more powerful than Nicta had any idea she was. And she reveals that instead of seeing like a minute or so into the future like Nicta can, she can see days into the future. And Nicta looks like shook by this. And she's like, that's like not even supposed to be possible. Put a pin in that. But the fact that you're crazy powerful is another reason to like be wise about how you use it. And then Tally like lashes out because I mean she's in a bad mood for like a million reasons, and like takes it all out of Nicta and starts like insulting Nicta and attacking her and calling her like, you're the founder of the spree, like you're a murderer, like who the fuck can trust you? I can't trust you, all this stuff. And Nicta's like, listen, I am all those things, which is why I'm the perfect person to tell you this advice, because like I understand the price of using this work. Like I made a career of it. And then she gives Tally a visual, and she gives her her real face, which is what we saw in Tally's vision in the first episode. And so we don't know what the hell happened, but the price of her using all of that spray work in an uncontrolled way took a toll on Nicta's face. So it looked like some either like a consequence of the magic or like magic gone awry, basically like destroyed her face. And so part of her jaw's missing. It's very mangled. And she shows Tally for like a hot second and then like goes back to normal. And then we get the famous line like, this is what you wanted, wasn't it? Like you wanted to see this. Here you go. Like this is Nicta's fuck you, basically. And Tally after doesn't like recoil from this, nothing. She's like, holy fuck, I saw this. Like I saw this. I saw your real face. I knew it. And Nicta's like, what the fuck? Like, so again, another confirmation. Tally can see crazy far into the future, and Tally's like, yep, bitch, I'm unique. I'm one of a kind. And this is really, I think, showing us that like Tally is probably the most powerful knower that has ever known. And this is Tally like tapping into her power without knowing what the fuck she's doing. So odds are, once she can harness this thing, she can see crazy far into the future, crazy far into the past. But it seems like this kind of like off canon work, not only can it like change the future, which is what Nick is saying, like there's consequences to knowing these things, but the other thing is it looks like there can be consequences to the person using that kind of work if you're not careful and you don't like know what you're doing. So hopefully nothing bad happens to Tally on her journey of like learning how to harness this power, because she seems to be like even more powerful than Nikta, and like Nikta had some consequences to doing her own work. So
I
pray for
wonder
Tally.
what work those consequences came from. It almost looks like she's got burn.
Yeah, it looks like an acid burn. That's what it looks
Yeah.
like. Like she was in a chemical burn is what it looks
Right.
like. Yeah.
Exactly.
Maybe
So
I wonder. I see. I don't know if it's like I'm having trouble because like they always say like who was it, the Tareem or something, that there's consequences to the work. Like when
right.
they Adil was saying to Abigail, like you guys do all this weather work and then it causes droughts elsewhere. So like is this like countering the
The
work Nikta was?
balance.
Yeah, a balance kind of thing. Or did Nikta like use the work and didn't know what she was doing and like exploded pipes and then chemicals fell on her? Like, you know what I mean? I don't know.
It's not clear.
It's not clear at all. Just if you have guesses, let us know. I feel like it's one of those two. And maybe we'll see as like Tally starts harnessing this power, like if there's consequences to Tally or not. We'll see.
We will.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see if it. Her physical body. It seems like it was just her face because she seems to. The rest of her body seems to function properly. So I don't see that it affected her anywhere else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless she's just got also scarring everywhere else.
Yeah, we don't I mean she was covered like in the robe, so like there
Yeah.
maybe but I know what you're saying, like she doesn't limp, she doesn't there
Mhm.
doesn't seem to be any other like physical
She runs later in this episode.
right,
Or
exactly.
sprints like Usain Bolt. More like.
Well, I mean she spent 30 years literally running from the army, so she learned she's good
Yeah.
cardio wise. Yeah, so I don't know. I hope we find out more what happened to Nick though. For
I do
personal reasons.
too.
But also like I feel like she's a good foil to Tally, and so it's like a
Absolutely.
cautionary tale of like Tally.
I think they need to learn from one another.
I
Because Ninja
agree.
needs to learn how to also like not be as caustic in some situations and open up a little.
No,
So
totally. I think she's getting there with Tally because, like, I mean, she
mhm.
probably hasn't had like a confidant in 30 years. So, like, yeah, like I think they're perfect for like balancing each other in a way and like learning from each other, like you said. So,
Agree.
yeah, I like their dynamic.
I do too. But unfortunately, we're gonna leave Nick and Tally. We're gonna I mean, it's not a bad. I mean, she's
It's not
Petra and
bad.
Anacostia.
I miss Snikta when we leave her. But yes, no Petra. Let's go to Petra. I love
Let's
her.
go to Petra
Let's go to
because
Petra.
this is such a Petra episode, and
It
I'm
is.
freaking love it.
I love it. This episode is just like why the MILFs should be in charge. That's what this episode
Exactly.
is titled, because they are the heroes, really.
Exactly. The MILFs and M.
The MILFs and M, yes. M M puts the M.
Exactly.
M it works both ways.
Exactly.
I love it. Yes.
So Anacostia and
All right.
Petra are having a discussion about Vice President Assholes Bill. Silver, for those who may be uninitiated, that we hate him.
We fucking hate him.
And how his bill could curtail witches' rights. And he has a lot of support for this bill, obviously.
Because America.
Because America. However, he cannot get it passed without Wade. And M is now on Wade's detail. So yay. That worked out.
Right? Sterling worked real fast.
Sterling was like, that's right, let's go. I don't want to deal with this guy anymore, so as quick as we can. So we got Wade and Silver are going to be at this dinner for the Washington Historical Society that Petra is putting on. And she wants a plan in place to ascertain Wade's loyalty And also tells Anacostia to let Isadora in on the drills and the poison, but Anacostia is like, girl, I did that days ago. As soon as we found out, I put Isadora on it.
Of course you did. Who else do you assign things to?
Exactly.
I'm surprised Anacostia and M got the intelligence stuff.
I know.
Usually it's like, Isadora, we need to figure.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm on it. She's like infiltrating.
There are only four people that work in this army.
It's the office assistants, Isadora, and Isadora's assistants. Who sends her necro minions in the vents?
Exactly.
They release mushroom spores. Like, it would have worked. She would have got it done.
Exactly.
But we like to see M doing this, so.
We do. Yeah. So she's already told Isadora about the drilling and the poison, and Isadora is monitoring the mycelium to see if there are any effects.
Obviously.
And she also tells her that she got some intel, or Anacostia says that there's a chemical plant in the Cession, and she suggests that they inform the Cession Council of, I can't even remember what's the name of it. The Council of
Rivers,
Three Rivers Council,
yeah,
something like,
something like that.
That Hearst is doing business in the Cession, and maybe the council will kind of stick their noses in and be like, "What the hell is this all about?" But Anacostia says there is a faster way, and it's let's get the fugitives, the teenagers who are trying to save the world and sucking at it, to go do a surveillance. Petra's like, are you sure about that? This is the one time in this episode that I'm like, really? Yeah. That's the one you say is the best option? She's been talking to Scylla too much.
She has been. But you know what? Let it ride, guys.
Let it ride.
Let it ride. The MILFs to the rescue.
So, by the end of it, Anacostia kind of got Petra on like, okay, maybe we send them to get intel, but only intel. So that's kind of where they leave it.
They should have known. But it's always, okay, why is it always, this is like City Drop, right? Where they're like, well, there's a super dangerous shit happening. We could send our people. But the unit's physically closer. Let's use them. What could possibly go wrong?
All over again.
It's all over again. It's like the same plot, but different scenario. Plus Scylla and Nicta. So they have more Chrono.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll be fine. Anyway, there's one thing I just want to mention really quickly about this conversation. When they're bringing up is it Great Rivers whatever. The Rivers Council. Rivers Council. We'll just call it that. I don't want to say it wrong. Anacostia, they're trying to be like, they mentioned they're like, maybe we could talk to them. And Anacostia says to Petra to like convince her, she's like, well, there are witches on that council. So originally when we were in the trailer, we were kind of talking about it almost as if it was just witches, but I guess it's like a governing council of the Cession that has civilians too.
I guess so.
Just based on the way she phrased that, it sounds like it's not purely witches.
You mean an actual representative government?
Well, okay. I think I think it has representatives. Whether or not they're equal, I think is another story. Because in the After the Storm from the first episode of the season, Elliot says, like, we're going to see how the indigenous witches are treated. So I wonder if on this council, they don't have an equal voice, per se, but they're, like, represented. So it's like, hey, you guys have a seat at the table, but we don't give you equal voice. I wonder if that's what he's talking about. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there because I thought the Rivers Council was just witches. But
either that or they're treated as higher in the Cession, and it's the opposite.
I would love to see that. The fact that they magically guard the Cession with wards. I think you're more right, but like it's America and we treat indigenous everybody like trash. So like I have no faith in America. So, but I would love to see that version where like
I have faith in Elliot. You know? I hope that that's how he's painted the Cession.
Me too.
Because even when Raylla speaks about it, it makes you feel like there's more magic in the Cession than there is in like magic isn't as contained in the Cession as it is in the US.
Yeah, where it's like with the US Army, it's like you can only do work when you're doing military stuff. And like that's how Mama
Mm-hmm.
Costia's parents died. Um, yeah, I would love to see it. I think the main issue with the Cession, because like we saw some animosity, like witch animosity, but it was like towards Alder, not witches. So I think their issue is with her and like the military structure and
Right.
yeah, not witches per se. But we shall see. Like I'm very excited to see that cultural piece of the Cession. So
Same.
I just thought that was interesting because
I
I just
agree.
thought it was witches, but we shall see. All right. So after that awesome scene of like the real heroes here, we shoot over to this scene where it's Abigail and her confidants, Adil and Cleta, and Abigail's expressing her hurt feelings to them because, like, at this point, they're the only ones like truly on her side, like blindly, not truly, blindly on her side. They're kind of enabling her, which whatever. And she's expressing that she's like, well, we're not very like unity these days. Like Raylla and Scylla are trying to run away, and like her words, Nicta or Tally's obsessed with Nicta, which yes, Tally trying to date Nicta. And so again, we've talked about this. This is like Abigail's losing control of her group. And it's like, Abigail, like we tried things your way. And now we're on the run in the Cession because you burned the Dodger group. So great job. So she needs to really shut the fuck up and like learn from other people and stop trying to like steamroll everybody. But like, whatever. She's griping about her loss of control over the unit basically, and Kalita is like, listen, like your bond is like way stronger than you think it is. And it's just like your bond is changing into something else. Like, I don't know. It's kind of like people who like your friends in high school and you're like we see each other all the time. Then we go off to college and we're at different colleges and like you feel like your bond has weakened, but it
Eroded.
hasn't. Yeah, but it's like it just changed because we're changing and growing up. It's like you're 18, like you're gonna grow. You guys are growing.
Mm-hmm.
Abigail doesn't understand that. So, and she's like, "Look, I don't understand any of this." And Adil, like, and Kalita are both like, "Whatever. Okay, we're your ride or dies, because you have us no matter what. We're family." And it's like, did Adil and Abigail get married off screen? Like, what? Like,
Right.
this is all so fast. Like, what is happening in this scene?
You guys are U-hauling harder than the gays.
Right, Kalita's U-Haul. Like, what is happening in this dynamic? It's so weird. It's so weird. But apparently they're family already because of the weird role play where they're having babies and Kalita's like on board for some reason. I don't get it. Um, but regardless of that weirdness, I think the main takeaway is that like Kalita really warmed up to Abigail over this past like month or so. Like she was pretty iffy about Abigail, pretty iffy about her impact on Adil. And I think that like they've formed an actual like bond with each other that's like real and has substance to it. And that's like the main takeaway here, honestly. Because Adil just does whatever Abigail wants, and that hasn't changed. And so after they like make her feel a little bit better, Abigail brings up the Earth and Sky thing, and she's like, "Have you guys ever heard of this Union and Earth and Sky thing? You guys know about the past magic. You were just talking about the first song the other day. Like, have you ever heard about this in like witch lore?" Because the Camarilla seem really desperate to stop whatever this is, and so we should figure out what the fuck it is. And I wonder if that has anything to do with the fact of why they were hunting the Tarim, why they were hunting the Bellwethers, because like Earth and Sky. And Adil's like, I don't know what you're talking about. That wasn't in the witch history library. And Kalita doesn't say anything, but like looks like she knows what the fuck is going on. And she's just like being quiet. She's like, if I don't say anything, maybe they'll just move past this. Um, but I think she knows, and it's just like not the time to acknowledge it, perhaps for Kalita, because she knows everything.
She looks a
And
little bit afraid of them. Like, this is.
yeah, no,
Ignore that. Don't even think about it. It's nothing. Don't
yes.
look at it.
Yeah, basically she's like, isn't this shiny? Like that's what she's doing. And then she's like, fuck, and like walks away. Cause I don't think she wants to give anything away or them to stare at her for too long, but like I think she knows exactly what the fuck this is all about. And it's
Yeah.
like, fuck, because when that happens, there's consequences for everyone, not just the
Yeah.
Camarilla. And so yeah, she's walking away from that. And if you want our theories about what the fuck this is, please revisit our season 3 speculation episode. Because one of our predictions totally comes true in this episode.
Da, 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 da.
Da, 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 da. But yeah, I think Kalita knows exactly what the fuck this is.
Oh yeah, Kalina knows what's up. And she's not gonna tell. Yay. Well,
No.
here we go.
Well, it'll get pried out of her, I feel like, at some point, but she ain't gonna tell you voluntarily until you're ready to know. She's too wise.
Yes.
Yeah.
So from that clusterfuck of stuff, information, we're gonna go over to Scylla, who's being a hot bisexual lady shopping for flannel, but not really.
Not really.
Because she's there to use the mirror to communicate with Anacostia. Once again, let's have a little fit check for Scylla, because the layers, she has like okay, so she's got this t-shirt on, the tweed waistcoat, another shirt of some description that has a collar, and then a hoodie, and then the leather jacket.
Where are they and how cold is it?
Yes.
Where are they? Like, I've seen no snow. How cold is it? No, like, misting breath. Like, is it really that cold that you need 7 shirts and a hoodie and a
Yes.
jacket? Scylla, girl, what's going on? What's going on?
Maybe she just runs cold.
Or maybe she was, or maybe it's like, you know, those are all the clothes they have, and so she has to wear all of them.
Yeah, she has to
when
wear
they're
them
running.
all.
Yeah, she's used to that from her dodging days, and she's like, well, these are my clothes. I'm just gonna wear them. What if the van gets taken?
I like the pattern on the shirt that's between the hoodie and the waistcoat, though.
What was the pattern?
It's like it's like a really vintagey looking floral thing.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That is nice.
It
Her
was
outfit's
cute.
really fun.
Yeah, they did. Okay, can we talk about the cuff jeans too? The cuff
Of
jeans over
course,
the
she has
boots.
the
Oh my
cuffed
god,
jeans and
gay!
it's so bisexual.
It's so bi rebel without a cause.
Yeah. Thanks, costuming. They're like, you're the bi character. Please cuff your jeans.
Yes.
She always has cuffed jeans. Always. That's who
Cuff
she
your
is.
jeans and see the flannel section.
Let's see. She gravitates to the damn flannel. Like, she's just meandering and is like grabbing at random and grabs a flannel.
Yeah, she didn't even look.
She was just like gravitates to it.
I feel like if she stood in that store long enough, all the flannel would fly off.
Her.
Yeah.
She just goes like this and they all pile. And she's like,
exactly.
Yep, that looks about right. Let's go.
Let's go. But she doesn't have that kind of time, so she just grabs and goes right on into the changing room there, and breathes on the mirror. Can I be that mirror, please?
Wow.
And Anacostia appears. So she starts off by just being like, "Hey, we made it to the session, yay!" I can't stay long, and I have a feeling she's about to go into the whole, well, Raylla's sick and everybody's being an asshole. So
right, danger, Raylla's dying. Fuck Abigail. Is Petra there? Exactly. Oh shit! I mean, she's wonderful.
Exactly.
I was talking about Kalita,
obviously.
Obviously.
Oh my gosh. I love that so much.
That is so funny.
What a headcanon. Anacostia cuts her off. She's like, listen, there's been a change of plans. And so we're going to assume she just fills Scylla in on all the information that she talked to Petra about in the scene that we saw before.
Sure.
And we cut to Scylla sprinting.
Wait, before we leave, I just want to shout out Amanda Tapping, because I love the way you filmed the scene of them in the dressing room. Because usually when we see the mirror scenes, you only see like the person that's communicating.
Yeah.
So I love the way she had like Anacostia on one side and then Scylla, so you could see them both in the frame. I love that. Very clever.
It was very well shot. And
yes.
Here's the deal.
I love it.
That could very easily come off as super cheesy and dumb.
Yes, right.
It came off as wonderful.
I love it because they like miss the edges of like Anacostia, so it feels very natural and it isn't gimmicky, like you said. Like it was a beautiful. You've never seen them do that before with the screen work, so that totally worked. It's awesome. What a shot!
Yeah,
thank you, Amanda Tapping.
Yes, thank you. That was one to fee.
Yes. Okay, Scylla running in her cuff jeans and her boots.
You know, that might be also some VFX stuff.
Yeah, I think it totally is.
It totally is. So
totally is, because like Amalia's in the frame still, and then you see the mirror. So yeah, I think it is totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you, post.
Yes. No, that shot was. I love it so much. I love the way that was a great choice. Truly.
Yeah. So we get Scylla, who's pulling her own Flojo, sprinting back into the campsite. I was just afraid she's going to trip over something the whole time.
Right? She was legit running, though. Like, you know
She
the way they
was
make them, like,
legit.
run, quote, unquote,
Yeah.
and it's like, did you guys learn how to run? She was legit running, so
Or
I'm
like the
glad Philip was
scene in
injured.
episode 8 of season 2 where
Raylla and
Taylor
Scylla.
was legit running and they were like, hey, slow down, the camera cannot capture that. Like,
Yeah.
you're going too fast and running into Scylla. But like, you could tell in that scene that she did slow down when she was running towards Amalia. But in this scene, Amalia's like darting across
They're
the
like,
screen.
bitch, run.
It's
And
like,
she did.
in my head, it's like that one song that comes on, like the meme song. It's like, run.
Run.
Yeah, exactly.
That was playing in Scylla's head. She's like, I need
It was.
motivation.
So she's running and she's yelling Rael's name when she gets close enough to the tent. And she's like, I know why Rael's sick. Because everybody like comes to see why Scylla's sprinting into camp. When by the time she gets that stupid tent open, which by the way, I earlier forgot to mention that she did before she left camp go back and check on Rael. So
right.
She gets the tent open and we see Rael being sucked into the damn ground with mycelium tendrils all over her. And Scylla reaches out and grabs her hand and she's yelling Scylla's name and Scylla's like, what the fuck?
Literally, what the fuck?
And you can tell that it's just not going to be of any use because she's like the ground's sucking her up, like the mycelium is sucking her down. Scylla's only one person.
Why weren't more people trying to help Scylla? I have a lot of questions about this scene. That was one. Like, it's only Scylla. Like, nobody else is like trying to grab Raylla. Like, everyone just like, oh, let's watch from the back of the tent. Number one.
And yelling things like,
and just yelling at Scylla. Because when Scylla was running to the tent, she basically yells out, I know why Raylla's sick, and she's running, so that can't be good. And nobody else thinks to try to go to the tent. And then no one grabs Raylla when they see her going into the ground to like help Scylla. And then Caitlin asked a great question in the chat. Why wasn't Raylla screaming before Scylla showed up? Like, they were sitting near her tent. So like, why, if she's being sucked into the ground, why isn't she like, hey, what the fuck's going on? And like yelling to get help? It's only when she sees Scylla does she say anything. What happened there?
I swear I heard something faintly.
Okay. Is this soundproof tent?
Like, before, and I think what the problem was here is that Taylor wasn't there.
Yeah, so. I think the problem is the mycelium has to eat Raylla.
Yeah, the mycelium has to eat Raylla.
It has to eat Raylla.
And so when they were shooting this, they had to deal with the fact that they couldn't have Taylor at the time they were shooting certain parts. And so they can't go into the tent because I'm pretty sure that Amalia did stay later than everyone to film some stuff with Taylor. And I know Taylor did. So I think some of this may have been filmed later on.
Oh, for sure. Definitely.
Her getting sucked in because there's really no time for them because she got that car accident happened when they were filming episode 1. So there was no time to film. This is probably most definitely filmed later on. So they were dealing with Taylor having to readjust everything.
Taylor, if you watch the After the Storm for this episode, it's basically just Taylor talking about the accident.
Yeah.
And like how that interrupted the filming and stuff. And so yeah, this definitely was all filmed later.
Yeah. Yeah, she says in the After the Storm that the accident happened when they were filming episode 1. So I don't know if, what exactly the timeline was. It's probably got all confused, but in any case, here we are. Rael's being sucked into the ground. Scylla can't get her out, but she says, so here's the big debate that's going on right now.
Oh, yeah.
Is it Raylla or is it Scylla that says, I love you?
I think it's Scylla. It doesn't sound like Raylla.
It sounds like Scylla.
It sounds like Scylla. Like, even if you, like, post that voice, it's not Rael's voice.
No, it's Scylla.
It's not. I think it's Scylla, but it was, like, dubbed in later by,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
the sound department.
So
It doesn't
I
sound like
think
Rael.
it sounds like Scylla. And then she says the saddest thing ever when Rael does get sucked into the ground, which is don't go.
Yeah. Scylla was having the worst day already, and it just keeps getting worse. I feel so bad for
Abigail
her.
got in her face. Rael is sucked into the ground. Doesn't matter that she knows that it's the mycelium. Still, it's fucking Rael leaving, or not leaving of her own volition, but someone leaving her again.
Oh my god, I didn't even think about that. The trauma. Yes. Holy shit. Yeah. And Rail too, because since,
Mm-hmm.
they were apart most of the
They've
last
had a
season.
fucking month.
Yeah.
1 month.
Literally a month. Ugh, poor Scylla.
When they were together at the beginning, there was an undercurrent of betrayal and lying and all of that bullshit. They've only been in a decent place in their relationship for 1 month. And even
Correct.
during that month, there were traumatic things going on. And
As
now
yeah. And now more
Rayo gets
trauma.
sucked into exactly.
So wait,
So
is this Scylla season that get just traumatized every 5
yeah.
minutes?
So
Maybe.
Elliot decided, let's torture Scylla this entire season.
Right, he's like, I've had a lot of fun torturing Rail. Let's torture her girlfriend. How about that?
Yeah. How about that?
How about that? Someone gotta get
So
tortured.
you've had to be on the run since you were like 11. You watched your parents die in front of you. Everyone you pretty much ever known is just left in your life. You really had no, tethers until you got to the spree. And even that was more superficial.
Yep.
And then you met Raelle and fell in love with her. And then that exploded and went to hell. And then Raelle's mom, your freaking mentor, sacrificed herself to save Raelle, which is the only reason that you get back together with Raelle. And now Raelle's been sucked into the mother effing ground by a giant fungus.
I know. It sounds ridiculous when you say it, but yes, that is what happened.
So
Poor
Scylla's
Scylla.
Don't Go has 93 layers to it, and every one of them makes me want to cry.
Give Amalia a raise.
Yes. Because the way she says don't go breaks my heart.
Fucking hurts, man. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
So yeah, after that, Scylla pulls herself together, faces everyone, and is the strong person who says, "Look, don't worry. It's just the mycelium has taken her to heal." And Tally and Abigail are understandably like, excuse me, bitch? Like, what the fuck?
I think this speech is for them and a lot for Scylla to be like, it's fine,
Exactly.
it's gonna be
It's
fine,
fine.
it's fine,
Scylla
it's fine.
is
Panicking on the
literally the
inside.
meme of the character in the burning room
Yeah,
at
it's
this
fine.
point.
Everything's fine. Yeah, that's
Everything's
Scylla.
fine.
Everything's fine.
So she's like, don't worry. The mycelium took her to heal. And they're like, are you sure? And she's like, yes, I'm sure. I know how this world works. I'm a fucking necro.
I'm part fungus. Just leave me alone.
Part fungus, just leave me alone. The mycelium has healed her many times. That's all this is. And my one big note is you're trying to convince yourself to.
Yeah, that's literally what's happening here. Like, they're yelling at her, but she's saying this for herself.
Mm-hmm.
Because 5 seconds ago, she was like, holy fuck, you're going forever. And then she's like, it's fine. It's the mycelium. The mycelium does this. I've seen it, never. But I'm pretty sure that's how this works. I didn't pass necro school, but I saw enough. It's fine. She's fine. It's going to be fine.
She has to rationalize it.
Yeah, everybody's like, why did you even know this was going to happen? What the fuck's happening, Scylla?
But I
More
also
secrets.
wonder if she does have more knowledge about mycelium related things since she knew the death cap seed.
Oh, probably. I mean, you really think Isadora is not going to show her necros the mycelium? Like the first day of necro class. She's going to be like, this is Mother Mushroom. I'm going to tell you everything about her. Like, like she knew, like in what is it, season 2, when she reunites with Raylla and they're talking on the bed in the morning, she was basically saying like, wow, Isadora must be super jealous because she loves that fucking mushroom. Like
Mm-hmm.
she knew about the mycelium like from
Yeah.
necro school, but like you said, she might know more magical stuff about it too outside of like army training. But
Right.
I don't know that you knew this, that like, oh, sometimes she takes
No.
human, you know what I mean? Like
No, she didn't know that.
I think
That was
she's
just
making
like
assumptions.
her best guess.
Right, totally.
Basically. Like, okay, Rael's sick. The mycelium heals her when she's sick. So
Right.
that must be what it's doing.
Right, exactly.
But it
Yeah.
can't heal this from outside, so it has to pull her in.
Right, exactly.
Like it did with Alder.
Right. Right. Which
Which
Tally and
they don't.
Abigail saw.
Yeah. So.
But I mean, they don't know what the fuck happened to Alder, so to be fair. They're gonna find
Anyway.
out.
So she also has to sit there after the love of her life is fucking sucked into the ground and explain that the Camarilla is poisoning the mycelium and that there's a chemical plant nearby that Anacostia wants them to surveil. And she's like, they're like, well, what is that going to do for us? And she's like, well, maybe if we find out how they're poisoning the mycelium, we can stop it. And then the mycelium can heal. And then Raylla can heal. And she's like, duh. Follow me on this journey, guys. Logic Land.
Logic Land. We are the smart ones here. Remember that.
So yeah. Nicta's not happy about taking orders from the army again.
Fair.
But it's not really orders. I mean, whatever.
I get her hesitation.
I get it. I really do. I'm like, you guys know that there's no army consequences for you doing anything here. So it's like the orders are it's a surveillance only and no engagement. But if things change, everyone in the group agrees that they might actually engage. So they're like, okay, but what happens if Raylla comes back? Hi. Cletus like, well,
spits her out. Get us
yeah,
new.
she pops out of the ground. And like somebody out of a birthday cake.
Right. A birthday mushroom.
I was gonna say a flapper out of a birthday cake, but that's a specific movie. She is Lesbian Jesus. Kalita offers to stay in case Ray.
Sorry, Caitlin says she's Lesbian Jesus. They have to wait 3 days for her to come back.
They have to wait for Easter.
They have to wait 3 days for the resurrection. You're right. That's probably the timeline.
It is the timeline.
Let's check back in 3 days. Thank you, Caitlin. You're correct.
Kalita's gonna sit on it for 3 days and we'll come back.
Everyone thank Caitlin for that.
Everybody. Yeah, so Kalita offers to stay in case Raylla comes back. She'll keep the wards up so nobody gets up in her business. And Tally says, hey, Scylla, we can handle the surveillance if you want to stay in case Raylla comes back. And Scylla's like, nah, bitch, I got to do something. Like, I cannot sit around here. And basically, there's one conclusion to draw from this. Scylla is not okay. In spite of everyone, like, people, I heard people were like, but she just seemed fine with it. I'm like, no, she doesn't. No. She does not seem fine with it.
Definitely not. That's exactly what the scene is saying. She's like, if I stand here and do nothing, I'm going to go crazy. That's what she's saying. Like,
have you met Scylla? Like, she's not going to show that she's falling apart. That is the cornerstone of her character.
Right. It's like she's like Abigail in that aspect, that when they're having a lot of emotions, they don't start like crying and lashing out like Raylla does. Like they internalize it and then like do actions with it usually. And that's Scylla more so action. Abigail started verbally abusing people this episode, but like Scylla's an action person. When she's not feeling well, she's going to start doing shit because that's how she like processes stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Abigail complains about not being able to take action.
Right. Abigail can't take action right now, which is why she's complaining so much.
Exactly. So she has no actions to take. Scylla makes actions and
Correct.
like takes on responsibility,
Yes. And
whereas
she's
Abigail doesn't, even though she's supposed to be the leader, right?
right. Yeah, Abigail, I mean, she said in the last episode, she's like,
Funny.
I need my mom to tell me what to do. Like, where Scylla's like, I'm gonna make my own fucking decisions and let's go blow some shit up. Like, come on, let's go. Because I
Yeah,
said so.
like, listen, I'm going to keep in touch with Anacostia in this way because I know this magic and it's useful. I'm going to do this and this and this to help us get to this point, and then from this point to this point. Okay, y'all fucked everything up for us. So now we have to do it this way, and Raylla will get us into the session. And still, she's still the driving force behind what they're going to do next.
Yes, which is why it's so fucking frustrating that nobody respects her because she's like the best leader there.
Mm-hmm.
Like she is. Like she's naturally good at it. She's smart. She's adaptable. Like the situation just completely changed. And she's like, cool, I figured out a plan. This is what we're going to do. Let's go do it. Whereas like Abigail, almost like she's better at being a leader when it's like she's got a rule book. She's like, okay, in the army, these are the rules. You know, I can lead in the rules. But like Scylla is like a wild animal in a way because she's like, I've been feral for many years as a dodger and evading the army. I'm good in any situation because shit happens, things change. You can't rely on people. I have to rely on me. So she's a better just like leader in chaos. Whereas Abigail's like, I don't know what to do. The structure fell down. Someone needs to tell me what to do. Yeah, so whatever. Scylla's the better leader, in my opinion.
It is just a product of these two characters being in environments that
Yes,
are on Abigail's side completely foreign to her, and on Scylla's side completely comfortable.
agreed.
So
100%.
Scylla's in her element.
Yes.
No, but let's be real. Like when Scylla was like trying to do the army stuff, she did okay until actual stuff from like her past came up. She did not know how to handle that.
But also, I feel like Scylla doesn't like being in that structure
No, she doesn't.
because she doesn't like being bossed around. And also, you like when you're in that army structure, you lose your own ability to be creative. And like
Yeah,
Scylla's very creative. So like it
she
almost
is.
like it what's the word?
Constricts.
Yes, constricts. It constricts her abilities, whereas Abigail was bred in that environment, and that's where
Mhm.
she thrives in the rules. Whereas Scylla is an artist when it comes to being a leader, and she's like, I like having no rules because then I can just figure out what to. I think outside the box, whereas Abigail only thinks in the box. So yeah,
Mhm.
like you said, their situations have. I think it's partially why Abigail's also pissed off because Scylla is crushing it and Abigail is not, and so
Yeah.
we all know how she hates that. So.
Well, it just reflects back on her being jealous of the whole Rael and Scylla thing, because obviously Rael and Scylla make a better team
Correct.
than Rael and Abigail have. I mean, they have not done anything together this season. It's the
So
plans
everyone's
have.
complaining. Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
what have they done together? You're right. Oh, that's so true.
Rael and Scylla actually came up with like Rael got them in the session. Like the
Right.
plan, and Scylla's like, okay, this is how we're doing this. This is Rael's specialty. So I'm going to defer to
Right.
her. So this is the plan. And Scylla tried to carry through the plan, and everybody's like, but wait a minute.
Yeah.
The thing.
No, totally. Because in that situation, Rael and Scylla were both in their elements, like you said.
Mm-hmm. So
Yeah.
y'all need to listen to your gay moms.
Seriously. Like, just respect Scylla for fuck's sake. I'm so tired of them treating her like she doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about. She's the only one who knows what she's talking about, like, ever, and nobody listens to her. Like, it's been a month. She needs to slap a bitch, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm down.
How she didn't slap them in this situation where she's freaking out internally about Rael, I don't understand. Like, how did she not slap Abigail? Like, this was the time.
It's the same reason that she could withstand Alder in the torture scenes.
I guess that's true. She's a strong human being.
It's a very different kind of torture.
For sure.
Fighting with Abigail.
Oh my god, seriously.
About
Over
stupid
a period
shit.
of a month, like, that's a long time. Damn. Ugh. So,
Yeah.
anyway. Unfortunately, we leave that scene and go to the fancy-ass dinner party at the Bellwether house, where Party, Petra, Isadora, and Anacostia are bugging the Bellwether estate in preparation for this party where, like, Wade is gonna be there. Like, as one does. We're like, let's bug this place before our guests get here. And the reason they're doing this is because they need to know where Wade stands, because that's the big issue they're having. Like, whose side is the president on? So obviously M couldn't figure anything out yet, so they're gonna try and do it here. And so they're trying to capture her voice, basically, and her saying something, like some kind of statement. And so Isadora is going to, of course, this task got sent to Isadora. They're like, we need to know what side Wade's on. Isadora, help us. So she's going to suss out the truth by using a bunch of tuning forks. And she's trying to explain this to Petra. And Petra's like, I don't have time for this. Like, you're brilliant. I don't care. Is it going to work? And Isadora's like, sure. And she's like, great. Go in your room and go do your magic. You don't need to tell me how it works. It doesn't matter. And Isadora's like, all right, great. I'll go to my room, but like, this is what you need to do for me to do my science stuff. You need to get really close to Wade so you can isolate her voice. So like, don't do it at the dinner table where like everyone's talking over each other. Get her alone, get her voice when she's saying something. And then I will take the voice and then suss out if she's being truthful or not. So we need a baseline before she talks about stuff we care about. And then we can tell if she's being truthful or lying, is basically what they're doing. And Isadora's like, cool. Then they break. Isadora goes to her super secret private listening room, and then Anacostia and Petra are left behind at the dinner table. Yeah, Anacostia doesn't love this plan because Anacostia is the ultimate, like, protector of the rules. And she's like, I feel like we're getting into Alderland where we're breaking the rules. I don't feel comfortable with this. What the fuck, Petra? Are you just Alder 2.0? And Petra's like, listen, bitch, I am not Alder 2.0. Never. I'm not puppeting anybody. I'm not pushing people. I just need to know where she stands. That's it. We're just trying to figure out whose side she's on. I'm not trying to change her mind. We just need to know where she's at. And once we know, then we can make our best decision, like for witches, for the army, all of that. So Petra's looking at this as like a strategy thing. She's like, I need the best information possible, which is knowing where exactly does Wade stand, and then we can make informed decisions going forward as the Camarilla is taking over the government. And Petra's like, okay, after that explanation, I get that you still don't love this, Anacostia, but listen, like, this may be a slippery slope, but that's why I have you. I know you love the rules and you're looking out for the best interests of everybody. So, like, if I start power tripping, I expect you to fucking call me out on it. So, this is a huge difference between Alder, who is, like, puppeting Wade in secret, versus Petra being like, listen, if I get out of line, if I look like I'm power tripping, I expect my officers to call me out on it because I don't want to, like, that's not how this is supposed to work. Like, a good general doesn't do that. So she has her checks and balances with her people, which is incredible. Speaks volumes about Petra and how she respects her position as general, and I love it. And so Anacostia's like, okay, I like that. You're not gonna like get mad at me. You give me permission to call you out. Great, I will watch you. And Petra's like, cool, because now I have a really weird favor to ask you, Anacostia. My mom's gonna be here. You should be scared. And Wade's gonna be here, and some went down. They don't like each other. So I need you to play interference between those two, because we need Wade happy. We need Wade talking, drinking, so we can figure out if she's on the Camarilla. So you need to keep my mom away from her, which is like a terrifying task, because like playing interference with Minerva Bellwether, that is not an easy task. That bitch does whatever the fuck she wants. Poor Anacostia. But Anacostia's like, okay, I guess. And then before the scene ends, Petra takes this like super ancient looking silver compact mirror off the table of magical trinkets and is like, cool. And then the scene ends. So there we are. I love it.
I really only have one thing to add. I love Petra.
I fucking love Petra so much.
Such an evolution. I love Petra as the general. She's doing such a good job.
This is what a real leader is. If you need notes on how to be a good leader, see Petra Bellwether, especially in this episode. That's how you do it.
Yep.
We love to see it.
We saw her at the end of season 2, not afraid to admit that she didn't she was
Know what
in
the
over
fuck
her
she's
head and
doing?
she was scared shitless.
Yeah. But damn.
So
That's how you get it done.
that is. Yay for Petra.
Yay for Petra. Go MILFs.
Go MILFs! Team MILF!
Team MILF.
Team MILF! MILF!
With a very capital M for M, too. Moms and M. MILFs. Yes.
Exactly.
We love them. Yes.
Yes.
Team MILF.
So, on the whole intel mission.
For now,
we're
now. Intel.
We're at the chemical plant.
We sure are.
And it's raining. So we got Adil and Abigail together. Chilling, watching. Nothing's going on. Pan over. Scylla Nick to Tally. Nothing's going on. Tally and Nick are watching, but Scylla's in the corner freaking the fuck out internally.
She's fidgeting too.
She's fidgeting like a mother flipper. She doesn't know what to do with herself.
No, it's just all that energy is just manifesting.
All she can think about is Raylla. What's happening to Raylla? Is Raylla going to come back? Have I lost Raylla forever? Again.
Yep. Unfortunately.
Is Raylla dead? Is Raylla alive?
She's not having good thoughts right now in her head.
No. It's not a good time in the Scylla headspace. So we all know the only thing that can break Scylla is Raylla, and that's what's in her mind right now. So
here we are again, yes.
Tally comforts Scylla again. She's the only one looking out for Scylla this episode a little bit.
Yes, she is.
It's very Tally of her. Yeah. And I love this is the Tally we know and love. Just being listen, Scylla, we're doing this so we can get Raylla back. This is the next step. Just, reminding her of what they're doing there. And Nick is over there listen, y'all, pay attention.
She's like, I get it. But
if you're going to get us.
Yeah, we're going to kill. Remember that. We're going to die. So let's not die.
It's like the Nicta version of.
Yeah, put your shit together. I know you're freaking out, but you can't right now. You can freak out later. Which she's not wrong, but it balances with Tally's empathy. This is why they make a good couple. Nick and Tally is what I'm saying.
Yes,
one does empathy,
Nick
one
Tally.
does not. Nick Tally.
They have a balance in all things.
Exactly.
So a truck pulls up, and some men come out of the building to greet it, and that's I know. Already, it's a loser.
It's messing me up.
Already, they're in tactical gear. I don't like it.
Thank you. That's the first thing I noticed. I'm like, great. They're armed and they got vests on. This isn't good.
Yeah.
This is
so.
Thank you, Caitlin.
And I saw, the first thing I noticed about the truck is that it has that chemical warning label of flammable. So
yes, yeah, that was weird. I was like, huh.
So is this the fungicide and it's just very volatile?
That's what I couldn't figure out because fungicides aren't.
Yeah.
Right. That's why I was confused. I'm like, is this fuel? Is this something else or is this actually the fungicide?
Is this something that goes in? Because they're at a chemical plant. So is this something that goes into the process?
Correct. Yeah.
Because making the fungicide?
I think you're right. Or something at this plant because the truck in the southern Iran didn't have those. I mean, granted, it was in another language, like Farsi or something, but if I'm wrong, correct me. But there didn't seem to be because the chemical signs are universal regardless of language. It wasn't on the flammable symbol wasn't on that truck. So I think you're right. It might be a component, but not the final product, probably.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
but it's flammable, guys.
It's flammable. Keep that in mind.
And these guys don't look friendly.
No. They're men in tactical gear. When does that ever look friendly?
For real. That is never a good sign.
IRL or in Motherland.
Fucking hell. Yeah, exactly. Elliot pulling from reality. That's what this is.
Yeah.
Also, do chemical plants normally have armed guards like that? I don't know. I
I
assumed
guess it.
not, but I mean,
I don't.
security guards, sure, but like tactical gear guards.
Only when the Camarilla is in town.
Yeah, that's why I was like, this is not a normal chemical plant. These guys look like they're ready for war.
No, this is the Camarilla
Ugh.
chemical facility, or they're using it.
I also wonder too. Okay, again, we've never seen guns.
Yeah.
So, like, what are these vests for? They look like bulletproof vests, but like, we haven't seen a single gun in 3 seasons. What are the vests actually for? Batons? Like, I
I
I don't
think the
know.
vests are there to make them to give you to make you know what they are,
Totally.
even if they're not functional, don't serve a functional purpose.
Caitlin wrote arrows. Who the fuck is using arrows?
Arrows.
Are people storming chemical plants with arrows? I mean, maybe,
Listen,
I
I have not seen. This is not the CW. We are not on air.
Yeah, right? Or maybe I wonder, is it like scourge proof? That's the only like physical weapon.
Guess.
I don't know. It's weird when you think about it, because like we think about those vests for guns, but I don't think anybody has guns. So like, what are they? I don't know. It must be physical weapons, because like they're not work.
Yeah.
They don't repel like witches work. I don't know. I'm just thinking in the realm of Motherland. What are those vests protecting them from?
Well, I guess it wouldn't repel a. Okay, I'm gonna posit something here.
Do it.
It's gonna involve a later scene though. So we see, yes, witches can control the wind strikes as to it seems like the area of effect.
Totally.
So you've got Nicta and Scylla wind striking guards and they fly away.
Totally.
But you've got Tally wind striking Hurst and it injures him in the leg.
Right.
So maybe that's what it's for. Like, you don't want to get injured in the heart or the belly from a wind strike.
It must be pretty fucking protective though, because like, yeah, I guess it would work like a bulletproof vest, because the way they like when they were practicing on Mama Costian, it like went through the metal sheet. Yeah, maybe it's for wind strikes. Okay, I'll take that. That's a good one. Thank you for that.
Yeah. So they're like, listen, it's wind strike proof vests.
Yeah, they're wind vests, windbreakers in Motherland.
Windbreakers. Tactical windbreakers. You should buy those online where you get your MREs.
Can you imagine? Here's your issued tactical windbreaker. You're like, ooh, I made it. Oh my God. That's so fucking funny. I love it. That's what they are. You heard it first here, folks.
I really want them to come in the same colors as like those ones from the 90s, like the early 90s windbreakers. Somebody pull up go Google it, early 90s windbreaker, and you'll know what we're talking about.
And like neon purple. Yes.
Yes.
Oh my God. Yes. That's why they have to hide it with the black. They're like, this is ridiculous.
Exactly.
Turtleneck. It looks stupid.
I love it.
If we ever talk to the costume people, we need to ask them about tactical windbreakers.
Tactical windbreakers.
Tactical windbreakers. Caitlin, remember for us. All right. Anything else on that scene?
Awesome. I think we're good.
All right, cool. So from here on out, we're going to keep jumping between the chemical plant and the disaster party at the Bellwether. So back at the Bellwether Mansion, the Laura Neal squad arrives, which is VP Silver and Kara, the grossest humans on the planet. They're so gross. And like Petra, they're disgusting. And then Petra, being the queen that she is, shows none of her disgust and just greets them. And it's like, welcome to my lovely home, you bigots. But doesn't say that part, but I would have. And Kara tells Petra she's beautiful, which like she is, but fuck you.
Yeah.
And, like fuck off. Like, yeah, she's ours. You can't have her. And Petra handles this like a champ and is like, great job, guys. Enjoy the home. And then goes to see Wade, because that's the real mission. And like a boss, I don't know if this was her plan or Anacastia's, but I love this plan. So she's like walking over to Wade and she's like dabbing her eye, like, wow, I just had to deal with those fucking bigots. And like smudges her eyeliner pretty like well. So it's like kind of going down the side of her face. And she goes to greet Wade and she's like, how are you, Madam President? And Wade, being an awesome human, is like, oh, you have like your eyeliner, like you might want to fix that. And Petra's like, oh my god, my heavens, and like pulls out that like mirror,
that compact.
my heavens, she pulls out the silver compact she swiped off the table earlier, and is like looking at herself and fixing what she smudged while Wade's talking. And Wade's like, listen, I need a drink, and starts talking to this butler. She's like, you need to give me a martini with a bunch of olives and like do it now, and I just get me my martini. And Petra basically like saves her drink order and is like, cool. And she's like, do you want a tour of the house, ma'am? And like passes off the little mirror thing that now has the voice in it to Anacostia. And Anacostia like the good intelligence officer, like smooth as fuck, grabs this thing from Petra and like walks away all calmly while like Wade gets whisked away by Petra. And it's smooth as fuck. And god damn it, they're good at espionage. But, however, the heist of stealing the president's voice almost was successful, but then Minerva enters the fucking foyer, like the actual queen that she is. She's like, bitch, this is my house. Bow down to me. And she marches into this room all smug and shit and walks up to Wade. So, like, Anacastia's already failing at keeping them apart because they meet immediately. And Anacastia's like, well, fuck. I'm gonna get fired. And Minerva's like, Kelly, and Wade's like, Minerva. So it's like they're having a big witch energy measuring contest right here in the middle of my dinner party. And poor Petra, she's like, god damn it, this is the worst case scenario. And Minerva, smooth as fuck, grabs a bottle of bourbon off of a passing waiter's tray and is like, let's go talk, Kelly, and like walks away with the alcohol. And like Wade follows her. She's like, it's just that time. And they go off into like an office, a library, I don't know, a room with a door. And M, being the good detail person, is trying to follow Wade, like, I will protect you, ma'am. And Wade's like, listen, no one is to disturb us, which includes you. So you need to stay outside this door. And M's like, well, fuck. And like locks them in. And then it's like, shit. So
well, crap.
well, shit. And the last scene is just Petra fucking panicking. She's like, this is the one goddamn thing that wasn't supposed to happen. And of course my mother did this shit to me. So Anacastia's in the background like, well, I'm going to get fired because that was my one job and I failed. We're all going down.
Let's be honest. No one's stopping Minerva from having a conversation if Minerva wants to have a conversation.
Can we just appreciate literally everything she did in that scene?
Mm-hmm.
Just
God, it was brilliant.
It's brilliant. Her outfit, her hair, the way she walks in like she owns the place, because she does. The swiping of the alcohol, and it was so smooth. She's just like, let's go. And like, it was amazing. And Wade did not look surprised by this. She's like, yep, that's just Minerva.
She's like, right, that's just Minerva.
Yeah, that's Minerva. It was amazing.
I love her braids. As she walks away, you see those braids.
Oh my god. Oh, I love her hair. Yes, I love the braids. I can't remember if she had the braids the first time we met her. I think she might have, but seeing it from the back.
She did. Seeing it from the back like that. Gorgeous. You had a really good shot of it. So whoever did that hair gets an award.
Yes, an award. That was incredible. Everything. Whoever dressed and did everything on Minerva, she looks amazing. Mm-hmm. Love it. Love everything about her.
Queen.
Actual queen, yes. Let's go back to the chemical plant. What is going on there?
Well, they're hooking a hose up to this truck to pump all of that delicious flammable shit out. And so the fugitives get a little closer to watch what's going on. And who should emerge from the building but Hearst? And everyone agrees that it's time for new orders. So everyone runs out. Scylla and Nicta attack the first two guards that run up, as we discussed previously, with wind strikes, and they fly away. Tally injures Hearst in the leg with a wind strike. Very precision. And then Nicta and Scylla are tasked with chasing down Hearst. And boy, are they running.
Yeah. They they are running, and I love that that's how this team was divided because
Yes.
hot damn, yes, run. We want to follow you.
We would like the Spree ladies to work together.
Yes, go on a murder spree.
Exactly.
I hate you, Caitlin. Anyway, yeah. So while that's happening, meanwhile at the dinner party, because we of course have to cut away from the exciting part and go to the dinner party. Apparently, Wade and Minerva are still locked in whatever room, doing their whatever. And Petra is not loving this, but now she has her own martini and is like, I might as well get hammered because it's over. While that's happening, Kara has a really gross girl-to-girl moment with Anacostia and is wildly offensive and is like, I don't mean to be a bigot, but
I do.
Right. It's like, yeah, she doesn't say that, but it's one of those sentences where people are like,
Yeah.
I don't mean to be racist. I'm not racist, but. So it's like, okay. Insert bigot statement where she's like, what's the deal with Petra's 3 dudes? Like, why are there 3 of them? And it's like, and Anacastia's like trying to explain like it's a witch culture thing, but then Kara like cuts her off. She's like, I don't really care what the answer is. But like, giggle, I have to go save my man from interacting with humans or witches or whatever. And so she goes off to like get VP Silver. And Anacostia is just like, ew. And goes and regroups with Petra. And she's like, I can't with this white woman. Give me things to do.
Jesus
And
Christ.
they talk about Kara, and they're like, well, that bitch is really laying the ditzy white girl shit on real thick. And they put together that, like, well, obviously, if she's doing that, then she doesn't know that we know that she's a threat. She's just playing like, I'm innocent and I know nothing, and what are witches? So she's not onto the fact that the witches know what the fuck's going on, and they're like, cool. So the enemy doesn't know we're onto them. We'll just keep going with that. And do you have something?
No, go for it.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. So last thing about the scene after they talk shit about Kara, as they should, Petra's like, well, we have the baseline voice from Wade now, and Isadora is in her room analyzing it, and I just hope to God my mother has her eye on the mission and isn't like making things worse with Wade right now. So they gotta like wait it out behind the closed door as well. That happens.
They gotta wait it out for Wade.
They gotta wait it out. You know what? And Wade would love that. She's like, you gotta wait it out, bitch.
Exactly.
M's not letting anybody in here. Best
Nope.
bodyguard ever.
Best ever.
Best.
So we're gonna go back to the exciting chemical plant fun.
Yes.
Tally in the group that is Tally, Adil, and Abigail, they end up in this kind of alleyway type area beside the building, and Tally has seen ahead and says that in a few seconds there's a big group going to come out. Abigail and Adil are going to take them down, and this is the first time we see the power of earth and sky, aka men being turned into tiny specks by their combined work.
And ding, we called that shit in our spec episode.
Yes, we did.
Military magic plus terrain magic equals really fucking dangerous magic that just where did those men go? Did they just disintegrate?
They disintegrated.
Like, molecules?
Yeah, it's like red dust is what they call it when there's an explosion and you just see the
like the mushroom cloud where you just, is that what you're talking about?
No. Like there's an actual term for when a bomb explodes and a human's body just basically turns to red dust is what they call it.
Oh, I don't know the term for that, but I know what you're talking about.
So all you see is like the dust of a human, which is not actual dust. It's just literal human parts being broken down into like the smallest
like molecules.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
Exactly.
That combination. So if Kalita knew, I think Kalita knows how dangerous that magic is to like the combination, and that's why she was like, shiny stuff, let's stop talking about this, because that's scary.
It is scary. And it also makes me think about, because the first time I saw this, I was like, wait a minute. So this is what Earth and Sky does. But then there's like Penelope is disintegrating and coming back together in the same kind of way, sort of. Not really, but not the same kind of way. In a similar like molecule type breaking down and then reconstituting type way, but it's black because of the witch plague. So they seem too similar for some to me, for like in the way that the humans are broken down.
Yeah, you're right. So I was wondering if like are those like is there a way to like reverse engineer that the way Isadora's essentially doing with Penelope?
Right.
Like,
can you put the humans back together?
Yeah, can you like do some like reverse Uno that spell and like they come back or something? I don't know.
Or does that only work on witches?
That is an excellent point. Yeah, that's interesting. Or is it like, can you do it because it's the witch plague magic, which is more like death magic versus life magic, like white magic versus black magic kind of thing? But that's interesting. You're right. It did the same thing. It did like disintegrate Penelope into the elements. Like it's almost like those guys were disintegrated into dust, which is earth, versus like Penelope. I don't even know what to say. She's not really water, but she kind of is. But it's like witch plague goo molecule.
Exactly. So like that was the combination of mycelium.
Yeah.
So like necro-y death powers and Abigail's powers, because she did the same thing. She threw tornadoes that ripped Penelope apart. She threw tornadoes that ripped those dudes apart. So it's just an interesting parallel.
You're right. So it's like it's kind of like in a way like the mycelium is almost like it's kind of like earth magic, but it's like underground. It's like a layer of earth magic. Maybe?
It's the underworld type earth magic.
Yeah, exactly. So like it is a earth and sky combination, but it's different than like Adil's earthwork. So like the effect is different.
Death and sky combination.
Yeah, so maybe that's why Penelope's can regenerate, because it's death. And what
it's Raylla. Raylla was there using death life power.
Yes, and also Scylla has mentioned death is more complicated, so like maybe that makes it complicated.
Exactly.
Because it's death magic or whatever, so you can get her back in some capacity. Damn, man, we just walked through all of that. I hope you guys all took notes. That was good.
And that's why they pay us the no bucks.
That's why no one pays us. Yeah. We don't pay Caitlin, so everyone thank Caitlin in like, all the comments. Also sponsor us.
Yes, also sponsor us. So, moving on from that interesting little tidbit, we go to Nicta and Scylla, who are inside of the factory, chemical plant, whatever you want to call it, following her, who has apparently left a trail. But some goony goons come out using the stolen vocal cords to wind strike and look like chickens walking along.
I know. I was like, who taught them how to wind strike? Because their form was terrible.
It was awful. They looked so dorky bad as hell.
Those poor actors. They all looked really bad.
They looked like they were trying to do the chicken dance.
Yeah, I was like, put your chest into it. What the hell? Yeah, like
watch the ladies do it.
Yeah, it was weird.
And it got worse as this goes on, because okay, so they're running from the wind strikes. They get into cover, and then Nicta asks Scylla if, I like that she calls her ram's horn, by the way.
Yes. Oh, everything about the scene was the best.
She's like, "Are you ready? Back me up, ram's horn."
Yeah.
And Scylla's like, yeah, sure. And so they run out and they use some spree work that makes the men wind strike the pipes above them instead of at the witches, and it releases chemicals, whatever they pumped from that truck, that comes down and burns them super bad, acid style. And Nicta says that it's good to see that Scylla's not completely soft. People need to stop questioning Scylla. Please.
Yes, I get why she's saying that though,
I
because she's
get
so
it.
lovey-dovey right now. But
Yeah.
like, she's still a big witch energy Ramsworm. She just hasn't had an opportunity to be still a big witch energy Ramsworm.
Yeah,
But here she is.
why the hell would she? There's no reason for her to do any violence. And that's the thing with Scylla. She's not going to do violence unless there's a good reason.
Yeah, no, totally. It's always with a purpose. It's not just like, that was fun. I wish she would, but she doesn't. Whatever.
Yeah.
Have character,
So-
I guess.
Have some kind of character.
Some kind of character or whatever. But I also wonder if like Nicta kind of means it too, because like if you notice Scylla, again, this is what we were was complaining about earlier, but like if you notice the way Scylla was like interacting with the unit, she kind of lets the unit like walk all over her a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if that's kind of a comment on that too. Like, I'm glad you have a backbone still. Like,
Yeah.
you can, but
it's like for the sake of my relationship, I'm gonna stay quiet about this shit, even though I should really say something.
Right. And so
because this is bullshit.
Girl, stand up for yourself. Like she tells Tally that all the time too. Like, I don't know. But it's nice to see Violent Scylla back,
I think Nicta would really enjoy knowing that Scylla stabbed Shane in the ear with a pencil.
Listen, yes. I think if the two of them were hanging out without the unit, I mean, Raylla could be there, but like without the other two, like they would get along super well. But I feel like Scylla's been cowering a little bit with Abigail and Tally to play nice. But like here it's just the two of them, and it's like, yeah, we'd be a good team. We'd kick ass and take names, and yeah, that was awesome. No bickering. They just went in, got the job done, and are like, all right, let's go.
Yeah, I like that.
It was efficient.
Scylla just kind of ignores it though. She's like, I didn't see hers. Like business.
Yeah, immediately she's like, whatever, the mission is still happening, Nicta. Come on, let's go. I'm not listening to your snark. Let's go.
Yeah, like, no, we don't have time for snark. We need to figure out what's going on with hers. And they hear the helicopter outside and ascertain that he might be trying to escape. And so they go running off to find the helicopter.
And I have to say, just one last time, Nicta and Scylla using spree work together is really hot. So
a dream come true.
It's literally a dream come true. Like this was one of our wish list items for this season, and
not only that, they're both wearing all black / a black leather jacket.
I don't know, Nicta in black. Listen, this was one part of the episode where I died, and then Isadora had to come and revive me. And at this point, she's like, listen, I brought you back so many times. I'm giving you a punch card. You get 5 more times and we're done. So Nicta needs to cool it.
Yeah, stop being too hot for Theora to handle.
There's another part where I die in this episode. We'll get there.
I know which one you're talking about.
But this one, the two of them.
There's another part where I die in this episode too, because I died here as well. Don't worry, Isadora had to come find me.
Yeah.
Because not only that, can we talk about how there's the song the seed that they sang, the spree work that they did? It was pretty.
Oh my god, no, seriously, like that low, like it was so good. I love it. Oh my god, I know. And the fact that like they didn't talk about what they were going to do. They're just like, let's do this. And then they both sang the same thing together. And yeah, it was the harmonizing between the two of them was so good. Like everything about this was just awesome. I love it. But yeah, it's so good.
Agree.
We have to move on before we both die. And Isadora is like,
I know. We don't have time for Isadora to come get us. She
doesn't have time either. She's doing other stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that was great scene. Thank you, Brian
Chef's
Sedler.
kiss.
Literally chef's kiss. We've been dying to see that. So that was amazing. I hope they get Albin. But we can't follow them like we want to. We have to go back to the horrible dinner party. And Silver and Kara are being bigots. And Sterling at this point is like, I can't. So he goes over to Mama Costa. He's like, can I please just like rip their faces off? I'm at my limit. I can't be a professional anymore. Can I kill these bitches? And Anacostia like, bitch, get in line. Like, I saw them first. Like, there's a list for who wants to kill them. So obviously, like, the dinner party's been going on for a while. People are getting annoyed with each other, and the camera cuts to Petra and Claude, who are arguing about the dinner. So, like, Claude made the food, and he's like, "Listen, my veal has like 5 more minutes before it's bad, and then we can't eat it, and like my whole night's ruined. Like, I slaved over this." And he's like, "Oh," she's like, "Okay, but like, we're waiting on my mother and Wade to get the fuck out of that room because like, basically, they're the heads of like everything. Like, Wade is the president of everybody, and then Minerva's like the head bellwether. So like." In society, like, they have to wait for them to eat because that's like manners and protocol. So like, they're waiting, but they can't interrupt them. So Petra's like, "Fuck, all right, let me see what's going on, Claude. Let me check." So she goes over to the room and tries to get past M because she's like, "I need to know what the fuck's going on. Like, M, please step aside. This is important. Veal's on the line." And M's like, "Listen, I cannot let you in there. Wade told me I can't. If I let you, Wade's gonna kick me off her detail, and then we have no soldier watching her, which is the bigger picture." And Petra's like, "Okay," and like respects this hardcore because again, this is a power check. This is one of her, soldiers being like, "No, that would break the rules, and then we're fucked. Like, we can't break the rules." So Petra's like, "All right, you were the right soldier for this. Like, thank you for saying that. You're not in trouble. Like, okay, you're right." So she gives up on like the Wade Minerva stuff. Like, they'll figure it out, kill each other, whatever. We're gonna go eat. So she's like, "Claude, get the food. Let's go. Send out the veal."
Send out the veal. He's very concerned about that veal.
Very concerned. But like, okay, I love this because this is like, it shows you the similarities between like M and Anacostia. Because like, they were both willing to like power check Petra and like did it independently. So I love that. That's like,
yeah,
they're a good team.
The three of them are good. I like it.
Yes, exactly.
I have one question about Claude.
Oh yeah.
His uniform, is he Navy?
Is he in a uniform? I thought he was just in a fancy suit. Maybe
No,
he is.
He's got dress whites on.
Ooh. Yeah. Maybe he's Navy. Did Petra get a dude from every branch of the army?
I think she might have.
So Petra, God, she's such a fucking queen. I can't. I didn't catch that. Yeah, I love that because I forget their names too. Not because I'm Kara, because I'm
Claude, Furman, Anton.
Furman looked like he was in an army suit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what Anton was wearing.
I don't either.
I don't even remember seeing him.
Anton was the one that brought them in, and then they thought that it was Furman. Like, Kara called him Furman, and it was Anton.
Yeah, but I don't know that we got a shot of his outfit.
We didn't. We just got like his neck
head
up.
shot. Yeah, exactly. So I don't know what he was wearing, but I think you're right. Claude was definitely in like a navy blue.
But I think that I've seen them both, those two both in an army uniform, and maybe it's just Claude that's different branch.
Maybe. Or maybe the male witches, again, it's kind of like a similar thing where they kind of have like that, everybody wears that standard looking thing, but then the dress ones are more specific to their branch.
Well, they were wearing dress. They were wearing like a dress uniform when that happened, because it was that event where all the dudes were coming to court Abigail.
You're right. I just remember them wearing the tan. I could be
which is the army. So
yeah, right. Okay. Weird.
So I think that the two of them are army and then Claude is Navy. That's
Petra,
my
you gotta get your Air Force, man.
Yeah, what happened there?
Petra?
You missed a branch.
You missed a branch.
Oh well, maybe Claude or Anton were just too, not Claude, Anton or Furman were just too charming.
She went with her heart, If there's a space force, she's gonna get a fourth dude. She's gonna get them all. I love
4 strangers. She didn't get one of those. Park Ranger.
Mm-hmm. She's collect them all like Pokemon. She's collecting all the dudes. The Witchy Mon.
She would.
She's collecting them all. The Witchy Mon.
We need to inform her that she's missing some of her collection.
She's missing some of the collection. Get on that. Come on, Petra.
Yep.
You're the head general now. Go get him.
Exactly. Go get him. So
we respect you.
Back to the chemicals.
Back to the chemical plant.
So everybody meets up outside, and Abigail they all see the helicopter, and Abigail goes to bring it down with some weather, but Nicta gets there first with her bats, which pisses Abigail off.
Which makes the scene even hotter. So yes, thank you, Nicta. She's like, fuck you. I got this.
Yeah, so the bats go up, bring the helicopter down. It crashes into the truck and causes an explosion. And Nicta says, "You're welcome."
Oh, God. Yes. That's the Nicta we know and love. Also, I love her pissing off Abigail. I think it's hilarious.
I do too. I'm not opposed to Abigail being pissed.
No. Especially not this episode. She's a jerk this episode. Yep. So, after that hot moment by Nicta, we go back to the world's most awkward dinner, where everyone's finally seated at the table except the matriarchs. Wade and Minerva are still chatting. And VP Silver is giving this really gross speech in front of the guests. So the guests are from the Washington Historical Society. So, like, the irony of this is amazing. So, like, these are, like, the nation's best historians are at this dinner. And you have the Camarilla goon giving a gross, bigoted speech about witches and talking about whatever. I don't know. I really wasn't listening to him. Then Kara comes in and, like, amplifies the grossness, and she slips the tea she probably wasn't supposed to because she's being arrogant, and is basically mentions, like, VP Silver's new legislation he's been working so hard on, and she's like, I know it's controversial with you people, like, othering the witches in front of the Historical Society, in front of the head witch of the army. And it's revealed in this disgusting conversation that, like, they're proposing restricting witches' voting rights, which is so fucking timely for, like, right now in America. And she's like, this is something we wouldn't have dreamed of even proposing if Alder was still here, but you guys got rid of Alder for us, so now we can, like, restrict your rights in the name of protecting everyone and witches, protecting witches. And Petra points out the obvious of, like, so let me get this straight. You want to stop us from voting and then conscript us into the military against our will. So, like, we have to die for you with no say in what the fuck happens. How is that fair? And so it's like conscription without representation is what she's saying. And VP Silver is, like, goes into, like, a political mode, and he's like, listen, we're doing this because for far too long witches have lived as their own society, and, like, pulling the card that it's, like, anti-bigoted because, like, you guys were bigoted for making your own society and we were left out, and we're making it fair by, like, restricting your it doesn't make any fucking sense, but that's how he's trying to rationalize it. So he's like, we're gonna make you second-class citizens so that it's fair, which is not fair. It's just fucked up. You're making them, like, slaves is essentially what they're doing. No voice, and they become property of the state the minute they're 18. And that's when the grand old matriarchs come out, and Wade and Minerva come on out. They catch the tail end of this disgustingness, and Wade is like, what the fuck did I just walk in on? And VP Silver, like, grunts at her, like, he's like indicates in a lot of this conversation that he really doesn't like Wade. He's like, ugh, okay. Like, she's an obstacle for him. And Wade gives this speech and shuts this bigoted shit down really fast. And while it's happening, when she starts talking, Petra opens this, like, really fancy, like, sugar dish. So it's another voice catching device so that Isadora can analyze it. And Minerva, Wade is saying, like, listen, I don't have to point out this to historians, how insane this is, that you're trying to do this. But I, as the elected president of everybody, humans and witches included, I will not be on board with whatever the fuck this nonsense is, because it's very undemocratic and not pro-America. So if you write up this nonsense into legislation and pass it in the Senate and the House, I will veto that shit so fast. Like, basically she's saying, as long as I am president, you are not passing this. I will not co-sign this. This is ridiculous. In front of historians. And the Laura Nail Squad looks really pissed at this. They're like, wow, that's
I love that you're calling them that.
They're the Laura Nail Squad. They are. They're disgusting. And homophobes and everything. But they look mad, which is great because we hate them. And Petra looks relieved, which is great because we love her. And she's like, okay, this sounds really good, what Wade's saying. But, like, the question is she being sincere or is she lying for whatever reason? So Isadora will tell us because I got her voice, and she like closes the little sugar jar, like, cool, cool, cool. So it's nice to know where Wade's at. Wade's like equality voting for all. I'm not a bigot. I will shut that shit down. So get on you, Wade. She's, looking out for the nation and playing by the rules, and we have to wait to see from Isadora if that's actually true.
Kelly came through.
Kelly came through. She's a good. Listen, we said in like season 1 we wanted Kelly Wade to be our president, and we stand by that because
Yep, 100%.
100%. She's a good leader. She actually is trying to represent all the people. I understand you were pissed off at Alder. I would be too if that bitch puppeted me. I'd be mad, but like, good on you, Kelly Wade. We love you, which means you're fucked. So.
Yeah, you're screwed so hard. The Laura Neal crew over here is not going to let that go.
No, they're famous for fucking shit up. That's what Laura Neal would do. So, sorry, love. Then my favorite scene.
We can go back to some happiness for everyone.
For everyone.
So, at the chemical plant, we see that there are some sirens blaring after this explosion. So, the cops are coming, and everybody needs to get the hell out.
Yes.
So, Tally does a little checky check to make sure, like what happened with Hearst? What's going on? Is there anybody left? And she sees that he's still there. So he was not on the helicopter. No, was not him. Okay. She sees him running along with his lackey, who he tells to go to Kara and tell her to continue the drilling and looking for the first song. This is the first time we hear something about the first song.
In present time that isn't Kalita.
Exactly.
So that's creepy that they know about that.
It is. We don't like when the Camarilla knows things.
No. I wonder if they got it from torturing the Tareem people that they've been trying to kill.
Probably.
Gross.
So the crew run after Albin to go find out where he is. And then we go back to the dinner from Hell's, where someone on his detail informs Blanton. By the way, his first name is even shitty.
Right? Isn't it?
Blanton.
Oh God! It's
so gross.
Like, how can I pick the worst white name ever?
He's gonna be the whitest white dude ever white.
How is that even a name? Is my question.
Blanton Silver.
Blanton. It sounds like bland. Like it just sounds terrible.
So bland.
Like Albin is an interesting. It sounds better, but like bland. It's just everything about it is gross.
Yep.
He's gross.
Yeah. So they come and tell Blanton Laura Neal about the explosion. So he gets up and he's like, well, I gotta leave now. And so he and Kara make their goodbyes, thank Petra for the lovely dinner.
Why did Kara have to leave? That's my question. If there's like an emergency VP Silver thing, why was she leaving?
Because she's banging VP Silver.
I know. And it's discussed. That's the only explanation for her leaving. He's like, I have important vice president business to do. And she's like, yeah, me too.
Yeah, I love that Kelly was all like, do I need to know about this? And he's like, no. And she's like, okay, well, bye, bitch.
I feel like you should tell me because I'm in charge, but whatever. Please leave. She's like, she hates him too. She's like, please get out of here. I don't want to deal with you either.
Please leave.
Also, like, why were you guys running together?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Did you pick your VP? It doesn't matter. He's despicable. Maybe he changed.
Or, is one of those things like, well, this person will help you get elected even though we hate him.
That's true. Yeah, I can see that.
Back to the group running through the factory.
Anyway,
they find Hearst, and he's tending to his wound that Tally so graciously gave him.
Thank you, Tally.
And I have in my notes right here, Theora swoons as Nicta snaps this lackey's neck.
Yes, God, it's the best. This is where Isadora revived me for the second time. It's the best.
We both we both
It's so good.
know. We both knew this was coming.
Yeah.
What is it with us and these women doing violence?
Listen,
We're just like,
it's just she walks up to him and it's just like boom, and you're like, yes, okay. There was no
just
talking. There's no magic.
automatic.
She's just, I can snap your neck with my hands. It's like, it's nice to be reminded. Nick is
I love
physically
that
strong.
Hearst has no reaction.
No.
So Abigail walks up and punches the shit out of Hearst, which I'm all for. It's the first time that Abigail gets to really like do something that she needed to do to get that frustration out.
Also,
maybe she'll feel a little better.
It's the first time I was like, good job, Abigail. This episode.
The first time in this episode, I'm like, all right, Abigail, good. Yeah. That's good.
Yeah. Keep doing stuff like that.
Yep.
Oh, but I love her though. I love this scene too, because it's remember me, doctor?
Yep.
Yeah, I love it. So
remember that little interlude we had in the parking garage? Well, guess what, bitch?
Remember when you tried to remove my voice?
Meet my right hook.
Meet my right hook. Justice. I love that. That was a good scene.
Mm-hmm.
And Albin, love you, Bob, but Albin getting punched in the face is great.
Yeah.
I wish Nicta would have just snapped his neck. Like, Nicta, just kill him. He's the big bad guy. Just kill him.
Everything could have been avoided if someone had just killed Albin.
Thank you. Kill him, then do necromagic later to figure out what happened. Kill him. Yeah. Anyway, nobody had the brain cell when it came to Albin except when they were punching him in the face. That was it.
Exactly.
Anyway, so after all of that fun violence, we move back to the dinner party, and basically the guests are gone. So like dinner and dessert, it's all over. They're gone. And it's just our favorite witches hanging out at the Bellwether house, and Anacostia debriefs the Bellwethers, Minerva and Petra, about basically what happened at the chemical plant. So their intel came back, and she's like, yeah, so there was like an attack on that chemical plant in the Cession. And Petra's like, fuck, that's where I send my daughter. Shit. So she's worried immediately. And Anacostia assures her, like, look, there was no reports of anybody military there, like no witches. So we know of no one. So we know nobody died there. We don't know what happened after that. But like, we have spies. I'll keep you posted. And Petra's like, kind of a little relief by that. But then we get the good news that their mission was accomplished tonight at this dinner, because Isadora was off screen finishing her analysis of Wade's voice. And the conclusion is that Wade was keeping him 100, and she is indeed being truthful when she said, I'm here for all citizens. I'm not signing bigoted witch shit into law. So she isn't a Camarilla lackey, and they did get that. So
that's a big yay.
That is the big picture yay, 100%. So the question is, what was Isadora doing off screen when she was doing this analysis? Because she was in fact off screen doing this. So I think that they said, I think what happened was, because so one of the dudes, Petra's dudes, like takes her, he's like, I got a room for you. And he like takes her to her room. So he probably takes her to a room, and she like stalks around. And it's like, this is the wrong room. Like it has to be on like the west wing. It has to be facing the moon. It has to be under Jupiter. Like she has all these like demands.
Stipulations.
Yeah, exactly. She's like, it has to be like this. And like, he's like, okay. So he becomes Isadora's bitch for like the rest of the night, which is why we don't see him, again. And so she has to take her to like multiple rooms until she finds the right one. She's like, cool. Now, I'm gonna need you to get me a scry, like the biggest one that you have in this house. It's a Bellwether mansion, because I need to tune into my necro minions so they can show me the mycelium, so that I know the mycelium's okay. Because she's also at this time tasked with checking on the mycelium, figuring out Wade's voice, and later has another project going on in the lab. So she has to know what's going on in the necro lab. So she has like, it's like she makes it her office, right? So she has the scry, big picture of the mycelium being like transmitted to her, so she can talk to it and stuff, because it's Isadora. And she like sets up this grand room. Nobody is allowed in this room. Like no one. It's like with M. She's like, you need to stand on the other side of this door, and nobody's allowed in here. I need to do what I want. So she does her feng shui shit that she needs to do, gets ready. There's tuning forks like everywhere. There's like weird energy in the room. Anyway, she's pulling her hair out by the end of this. She like they send her like the voice samples, like they crack the door open, they give her the things, and then she like does all her tuning fork magic and like extracts all of the Wade voices, and it's like there's particles of voices hanging in different corners of the room as she's like doing this. So it's like this big like jigsaw puzzle of like voices while she's trying to like find the truth thread. And while she's doing this, she's checking in on her other experiments with the Necros. She's like multitasking like crazy, but she still gets the job done because it's Isadora. And that's what she was doing off screen. Like 3 experiments at once and figuring out, boom, Kelly's on our side. And the minute she figured that shit out, she's like, I'm out of here. You clean this room. I got my tuning forks. I left, which is why we don't see her again. She's gone. She already left. She's like, I have shit to do at Fort Salem. Bye. I will take my dessert and veal to go, please. And she's like eating it in the car on the way.
What a boss.
She's such a boss. She has too many jobs. She really needs an actual assistant. Like, we need an M for Isadora, because by the end of this episode, she's like pulling her hair out. Like, literally, there's like wisps of hair everywhere. Like, she hasn't slept in like 3 days.
Jeez.
And can you blame her? She had 3 jobs today. No. And I kept dying, and you kept dying. And she's like, God damn it.
It's
too much.
I'm about to die.
Right.
Because we're going back to the chemical plant.
Oh, wait. There's one more thing after that. It's Minerva's exit wisdom. Mama Minerva.
Yeah.
So, after we get the Wade is on our side thing, Minerva is like, really, you didn't have to bring that scientist in our house to do this? I could have told you she was being truthful, because I've known Wade forever. Like, basically, they're the same age. They rised up the ranks together, like, Minerva through like the military, Wade through like government. So they've been like in each other's circles professionally for like ever. And basically they used to butt heads a lot because they're both strong, stubborn, young Black women rising through the ranks. And basically they were competing with each other almost in a way, and like not seeing eye to eye. And so what they were clearing the air on tonight, and what this big conversation was like putting that behind us. So like, listen, we've learned a lot. We're both in different positions. They're like veterans of what they've done, essentially. And so they're just like, we have more in common than we do not have in common. Like, let's focus on what we have in common and like be friends with each other, kind of thing. And Petra's like, that's all really weird. I know you. I know how stubborn you are. I'm stubborn. My daughter's stubborn. What are you talking about? This is crazy. And Minerva's like, let me put this another way. Like, remember Alder? Remember how you guys used to butt heads and like didn't super get along all the time, especially at the end? Imagine if you and Alder could talk now. Like, now that you've been the general, like her, and you've walked in each other's shoes and like risen through the ranks. Like, imagine if you could talk to her now. Like, what would that conversation be? Like, would you butt heads with her, or would you try to make peace with her, is essentially what she's saying. And Petra kind of sits with that. So I wonder if she's, like, thought about that in the 1 month time that she's transitioned into Alder's role. Like, she can almost, like, see through Alder's lens a little bit, like, what she was dealing with, because now she's walked in Alder's shoes. So Minerva gives us the great line of wisdom at the very end where she says, one can always find common ground over a glass of bourbon, which is why she swiped the whole fucking bottle.
Exactly.
And she like super witch mic drops and fucks off and goes to bed.
As you do.
As you do. And then Anacostia and Petra essentially are like, cool, mission accomplished. Wade isn't with the Camarilla, but she literally just became their public enemy number 1 because she was just telling them how I will not go along with your shit. So, yeah. So now I think they have to like help Wade. They're like, you're on our side. We have to help you because you're in danger and you have no idea.
Oy vey.
Oy vey. Indeed. So poor Wade. Wade's fucked next episode. Let's say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She laid down where she stands, and now she's a target. So
yeah, for sure.
So back with our fugitives.
Yep.
We have Nicta, Dill, and Tally loading up Hurst in the back of the truck, and Tally kind of stops and is like, so do you want to talk about this whole stuff? You want to talk about that? You want to talk about the first song? You want to talk about the drilling? Come on. You want to talk? And he's like, you have no idea what you're talking about. And Tally's like, fuck you, man, and just throws him in the truck.
Tally is so bad at being like the bad cop. Like, she's so
Yeah.
bad at it. Like, hey, Camarilla. Like, she never has like the
Hey,
good
Camarilla.
in these moments. She just is always like, yeah, this. And he's like, girl, you know what the fuck are you talking about? Poor
Yeah.
Tally. She tried.
She did try.
Do you think maybe he was surprised in any way that she knew those
No,
words?
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't think anything surprises Albanhurst, to be honest, but anyway. Yeah. So Scylla is standing to the side of the truck, witch texting Raylla feverishly.
Yes. Instead of just fidgeting.
Not in a calm way. Her fidgeting is like constantly witch texting Raylla. Like, you know, that panic dialing that you do? You're like, pick up, pick up, pick up.
Okay, but it's like, if it was the text message thread, it'd be like all one-sided. And it's just like,
Yes.
where are you? How are you? Thinking about you. Where are you? Are you okay? And it's all like unread. And she's just sent a million texts.
Exactly.
It's the version of that. They're all unread, but she's like, Rail's gonna get them. It's fine. Allie's like, put the phone down, sweetie. Put the phone down.
Yeah. She's like, but she goes and explains to Tally what she's doing.
Yeah.
So she shows Tally her witch texting and says, it's so wherever she is, she'll know that I'm looking for her and that I'll never give up.
Yeah, it's like a little reminder. I'm thinking about you, which is the point of the witch texting.
Exactly.
Although that one time it meant duck randomly.
Yeah. Randomly, but Raylla knew.
Right. It either means I'm thinking about you or duck. Raylla knows. She knows.
She knows if there's glass around, it probably means duck.
Is it high or duck? I have 3 seconds to figure it out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She should probably just duck in every instance just to make sure.
Hi.
So Tally comforts Scylla and is like, hey, listen,
sweetie,
we're in this together. No matter, like, I know things have been weird. And Abigail's a bitch.
Really? That's what this is.
And hates you for no good reason. But we're in this together. So let's hug. So Tally hugs her. Yeah. And Scylla's very thankful for this. She's like, thanks, Tally. And then, of course, the jackass in the room has to make himself known.
Of course. He can't help himself.
He can't. So he's been listening to this, and Scylla goes to close the door, and he says, you know, like, Blondie not what does he say? Like, Blondie not feeling well? I noticed Blondie's not with you.
Yeah, Blondie's not with you. She not feeling well.
Yeah, and then, I die.
Scylla's like, oh, you not feeling well, huh?
This is why I enjoy this more than I enjoyed Abigail's go at him.
I mean, this is way better.
Abigail just stepped up and punched him. Scylla swung herself up onto the back of the truck and decked him with her left hand.
Exactly. She's like, I'm gonna fling whatever I can at you because fuck you.
Knocks him so far back, his nose is bloody.
Hers is
so much force behind that punch. She's tiny and mighty because she will fuck you up.
Don't fucking insult Raylla in front of Scylla.
Yeah, do not make fun of Raylla and their pain.
Listen, I'm surprised she didn't kill him because
me too.
She should have. She's like, interesting. And she starts making that sound that Nick made. And then he kills himself.
Or she just snaps his neck.
I mean, that would have been hotter. So learn from Nicta. Just snap necks. Like, you don't use your magic. Just kill him.
I think Scylla acted in the moment, and also she's kind of probably like, well, if he or something like that.
Oh my god. It's the way she did it, it's more like passionate. Because it was just like very heat of the moment. Like Abigail, heat of the moment, where Abigail was thought about that for like a hot second. She's like, oh, this guy. I'm gonna say my cool line and then I'm gonna punch him. Whereas Scylla's just like, and then flings herself at him. Like,
Yep.
yeah, it was great. And like, that's a good way to get out your frustration. Punch Albin in the face.
Exactly.
Did you
I'm
feel
all
better
for
after
it.
that, Scylla? We're all for it. I hope you had some
It
therapy
was
there.
beautiful, hot,
Beautiful.
and the way that leather coat flew when she just pulled herself up on that truck.
Everything about it. And then she's like, punch, bye, and closes the door.
Bye, and closes the door.
Because she was just trying to close the door.
Yeah. It was
Oh,
like,
Albin.
just
Dumbass.
get your head back in the fucking truck, Albin.
I'm gonna, where it's like theme park rides where they're like all appendages inside the ride. She's like, get inside the ride. I'm gonna punch you back and close this door. Because he was leaning outside the door, so it's really she was trying to help him, like get inside the van.
Exactly.
Yeah, for safety reasons.
And I love that when he falls back into Tally just grabs his shirt and pushes him back.
He's like, no, get outside the ride.
Get off me.
Get off me, bitch. Yeah. Everything about that was beautiful.
Oh, I died. Isadora had to come and revivify me.
Yeah, on her way back to Fort Salem, she's like, ugh, I'm getting a call from Bree. Okay, all right. Let me finish my meal first. That's great. Okay.
Absolutely.
But question though, that was everything. Why do you think the Camarilla cares about the first song?
Because
yeah. I'm wondering about this one.
For one thing, it's something they need to know about, because if it's part of the prophecies of all of the things that the witch, because we know that because of the whole earth and sky thing and the bit about Raylla being the one to help in the war, we know that there are prophecies connected to this whole situation. So the first song is going to play a part, and they're going to want to know what the deal is about that, but also it could also be a very powerful weapon that they might want to get their hands on, because we're going to see that although the Camarilla has this bastardized version of work, I think Albin has other plans to become the enemy in a way.
Yes. 1000%. Evidence
To steal the power of witches, but for real.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, at first I agree with everything you just said. At first I was like, are they trying to like rob witches of their power and like undo? Because the first song was like language and like all that stuff. But I wonder if it's more than that, and it's more about like the unification of witches' powers, because the 6 witches that did the first song essentially all went to separate areas of the world, and that's kind of where like you get the different work, right? Like one was probably the original Tarim, one became later the army witches. Like, so I wonder if they're keepers of certain specialties, like a certain groups became like the earth workers, the weather workers, the fire workers, like the elements or whatever.
The necros.
And so yeah, the necros. Yeah, for sure. Necros, healers, like whatever. Like, and so it's like a unification thing where if you can unite all the witches' powers, you get something that's more powerful than anything else. And so I wonder if like Raylla is the conduit for that, because through the mycelium, she has the voices of the dead witches. Whereas like the first time we heard the mycelium song, I think she was singing when Isadora captured it, and she's like, this voice thing is so good. There's like 500 voices in here and it's complex. So I wonder if like she's the one that can do the first song because she has the actual voices, like from like the OG witches or something.
Yeah. That would make sense.
Yeah. And so, yeah, interesting. Like, I feel like she's still got to be like a big target for Hearst too. Like,
oh, absolutely.
I wonder if like killing the mycelium is one thing, but he's also like, I'm trying to weaken her enough where I can like use her more, kind of thing. So
I think any bad thing he can do to Raylla, he wants to do.
He's Elliot. There's like, I want to torture that one.
This is where we find out that Albin is really
It's Elliot.
Elliot in disguise.
Yeah. It's Elliot's like alter ego. That like, you know how you have like the
Yeah.
alter ego that's like, if I could always do the bad things, I'd be Albin. Like, you know?
Yeah. I think see, in my head, for some reason, it's like at the end of the Scooby-Doo episode where you pull the mask off of the...
It's Bob. He's like, what the hell? Yeah. No, totally. Yeah. And it was him all along. Yeah. No, I can see that for sure. But yeah, that's interesting. I didn't foresee like the Camarilla knowing about the first song, so I thought that was interesting. And so I think ultimately Rail's in danger is what it means.
And here we are, back again, Rail's in danger.
Rail's in danger. So always. All right. So after Scylla amazingly punches Albin, which is great, we cut back to Isadora. So Isadora revived Bree, and then she ended up back at the Necro Lab hours later. And she's doing her like 5th experiment of the day. So she's remember all the the witch plague juice she collected from the storm with her phonograph. Yeah. So finally, it's been ink. I don't even know. I don't think she had time to deal with it, and she had to do other stuff. And she's like, finally, back to this project I've been trying to do all goddamn day. She has her minions in the lab, and they've got the glass containers. And like the woman just looks exhausted. Like there's like hair, like wisps everywhere. She looks like she hasn't slept. Like poor Isadora. She's like, okay, once I do this, I can go to sleep. And so she takes one of the glass containers of the witch plague juice and takes a very large tuning fork and goes over to a TARDIS in the middle of the Necro Lab, which is like a phone booth looking thing. And with those 3 things, she summons Penelope, who manifests out of the witch plague vapors, I guess, with the tuning fork. And
it's like she distilled her or something.
Yeah, no, totally.
She
totally.
made a Penelope from concentrate.
Yeah, no, totally. She had liquid Penelope to gas Penelope to solid. She went through all 3 phases of matter. Yeah, totally. And then Penelope's in the TARDIS now and like looking confused as fuck because that is super fucking confusing, witch plague or not. Like, where the fuck am I? Why am I in this box? What the fuck is happening? And Isadora is the bravest woman ever because she just lets her out. Like, Isadora, why would you just unlock this without like any kind of anything? She's just like, cool, and like lets Penelope out of the box, which was crazy. I think she's just tired. She's just like, sure. And no safety protocols in this experiment, I guess. Penelope just still, it's not registering what the fuck is happening. I don't think she's ever met Isadora. It is like, who the fuck are you? Like, where am I? Why are you guys wearing lab coats? What is this dungeon I'm in? And Isadora's like, listen, don't worry, child. Like, you're safe. You're home. You're home. Like, this is Fort Salem. You're home. And home apparently was the wrong thing to say to Penelope because she immediately gets triggered and attacks Isadora, like goes for her neck and starts choking her. And then the minions have to be like, oh, fuck. Okay, this was not in the safety manual. We didn't know about this. And they try to like get Penelope off of Isadora and drag her back and like throw her into the TARDIS and lock the door, which is where she'd have been the whole time, Isadora. And she doesn't stay like corporeal for much longer. Once she's in there, like freaking out, she like disintegrates back like into dust and like goes back into the tube. And Isadora's like, fuck, I waited all day for this and now she's gone. So I think that like she was kind of successful in the fact that like she was able to extract Penelope from this witch plague that's like got her voice, but she doesn't quite know like what version of Penelope this is and like how to keep her corporeal or solid. So I feel like Isadora is going to like be up for weeks trying to figure this out, and she probably has to like do other tuning forks or whatever to like keep her solid for like longer to like to figure out what the fuck's happening.
Isadora will never sleep.
No, that's why she's like, oh, fuck, god damn it. All right, well, I thought I was done. I'm not. So she's gonna go in the mycelium room now and like complain, take a power nap, and then get back to this because they got like 20 more jars of that stuff. So they're like, all right, we took our notes. What did we learn, crew? Don't unlock the door. Great. Isadora. She was just tired. That's all. That was dumb.
She was tired. She wanted this to be over.
She did.
She unlocked the door for the Penelope juice concentrate to come out and try to choke her.
I feel like next time she's gonna wear like body armor. Like, okay, Penelope, let's go.
She's gonna wear the windseal.
She's gonna wear a windbreaker.
Yeah.
I love it. Yep. That's
Yes.
an experiment number 2.
Yes, it is.
But yeah, my money's on her figuring it out. She just needs more time and sleep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
More time.
But interesting.
So our fugitives go back to collect Kalita at the campsite. And when they get there, they step out and there are no crickets. So no crickety sounds. That means there's something there.
Yep.
So they all kind of go to investigate. And Abigail leaves Hurst in the back of the truck and says, the words will hold him. And then runs off.
That was the stupidest thing in the whole episode.
Welcome to why you shouldn't let these teenagers.
Yes, why teenagers shouldn't be in charge of the world. And Nikta, you're the adult.
What the fuck?
What the fuck did you let them do this? This was so stupid.
Like, to be fair, Abigail should have either pulled him along with them or stayed. But we know Abigail's not going to do that.
Okay.
Killed him.
Yeah, I mean, killing him is what they should have done. Okay, but that was not killing him was stupid. Okay, now we're in plan B where he's alive. We should have killed him. That was plan A. We didn't do that. We go in for plan B. Why not just, because Nikta knows off-canon work, why not just pull a dollhouse and just have him hallucinate in the truck? And, like, he'll occupy himself and he won't go anywhere. And then you can just close the door and be like, he's occupied. He doesn't know what the fuck's going on. And, like, he'll guard himself that way. But they're like, the wards will keep. Guys, just make him hallucinate in the truck. Like the unit was with Magna Verger when they're, like, in that dollhouse with the clocks. Like, just do that to him. And he won't leave. He just will hallucinate and sit there. And then, you know, whatever. Albin deserves a bad witch trip. And he won't go anywhere. What are we doing, guys? What are we doing?
Well,
what are we doing?
To be fair, Nikta wasn't, like, had already run off by that point. So I guess no one had, like, the only person that, like, even thought about Albin was Abigail because she was last out of the truck. Maybe they figured, oh, she'll bring him or something. I don't know.
That was dumb. Nobody had the brain cell.
Nobody.
There was no brain cell. They threw it out into the woods. They're like crickets, and then, like, the brain cell went. So they fumbled the brain cell. It's in the woods somewhere.
So there's half a dozen or more marshals out in these woods that have found this campsite that they'd been staying at. But there's no sign of Kalita. So Adil's like, I'll just do my Tareem magic, invisible myself, and go find her. And kind of everybody's like, should you really do that? But Abigail doesn't, like, stop him. He goes off. And there's this whistle in the air, and it's an augmented sound of work. Mm-hmm. But it's coming from the marshals. And you see the marshals stalking through the woods, and you hear, like, the laughter. So he's like, these kids.
Yeah, this is like a Scooby-Doo thing, like, you pesky kids. Mm-hmm.
And then we get our first in-episode glimpse of Michael Horse.
Yes.
The badass that he is.
Our marshal.
And he sees right through Adil's Tareem work with his Cession witch work.
With a smile on his face.
The smile. He's like, boy.
Yeah. Boy.
Yeah.
What you doing in my woods?
And as soon as Adil realizes that the gig is up, he just takes off running. And the marshal just, like, lets him run. And then we see Hurst leave the truck and limp away. Oh, and then the fugitives see Hurst. But Scylla's like, we gotta go. Like, they're gonna catch us.
He's too far. Just fucking kill him.
Just kill him.
3 seconds. Just kill him. Summon some bats. It will take 3 seconds.
You have all of the work in the world at your fingertips, and you just can't, like, kill Albin Hurst right there.
Oh my god.
I understand it's for the plot, but it still bothers me.
I understand. We want Bob to be in the show because he's fun. I get that. But what the fuck, guys?
Yeah.
We're really bad at this.
Yep.
Anyway.
So they run off. Hearst goes in a different direction, and the marshal's just walking along laughing. Like these idiots.
I know.
Man.
Just, yeah.
I don't know what else to say about this scene except that it literally is out of a Scooby-Doo episode, and it's the dumbest thing ever.
Yes, it is. And yeah, I love that the marshals will 1000% get the last laugh. They have the last laugh, literally.
Literally.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, so that's a taste of Cession marshal work. Pretty fucking cool, creepy. My money's on them to catch them, but not Albin. Jesus fucking Christ. Anyway. Yeah, I hope they get the brain cell back next episode.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see. Okay. I could lament about that scene all day, but I won't. We'll move on to the very last scene, which is Raylla waking up in Fungatory, which Bree called that shit in our season 3 spec episode. Well done, Bree. Validation. Yes. So this time she isn't in that like weird blue pink hyphenated place she was when the Albin was playing with her. This time she's in like her bedroom, but there's still like that blue pink threads of like the mycelium. So it's like the mycelium's like, listen, we need you to recover, and we're gonna make this as homey looking as possible so you don't freak the fuck out. We even manifested your mother, the mycelium version of Mama Collar, to watch over you so you'll chill the fuck out, because we need to protect you because you're our like champion. You can't die. If you die, we die. Like, this is a partnership. You didn't read the terms and conditions. And Raylla's like, what the fuck is happening? And like Mama Collar comes in. She's like, okay, she's waking up. Shit, damage control. She's like, listen, you're sick. Like, you need to like rest. That's why you're in a bedroom. And Raylla at that time gets a witch text from Scylla. So I guess Scylla's like running and texting Raylla. She's running and texting. She's texting right now. And Raylla gets the witch text and she's like, what? And then Mama's like, don't look at that. Put your phone away. You need to rest and get better. You'll get your phone back when you've rested. Don't worry about that shit. And like, a lot of people are like, why is Mama Collar being so mean? She's being mean because it's not Mama Collar, it's the fucking mycelium that's manifesting as Mama Collar to calm Raylla down, because they need Raylla to be calm. This isn't Mama Collar. Right? Like, Elliot destroyed Mama Collar and Raylla reuniting and having a conversation in season 2. This is the mycelium. And she like takes Raylla's witch phone away and then like pins her down on the bed and is like, Mama's watching you, like, rest. And then it just ends. So that's what's going on with Raylla. She's being like held hostage in Fungatory by the mycelium wearing her mama's face. And she's getting the witch text from Scylla, which is important. So she still can see them, even though she's in Fungatory. It's just that Mama took her phone away, so she will not be able to reply yet.
Can we discuss how Scylla's work even manifests across whatever fucking length of distance?
Listen. Scylla Big Witch Energy Ramshorn didn't just invent witch texting. She invented like interdimensional witch texting.
Exactly.
That's how crazy powerful she is. Like, she's in another fucking dimension right now getting her work. Like, that's crazy.
Scylla's running through the forest frantically witch texting her girlfriend in another dimension.
She's getting the fucking text. Like, that's crazy. Yeah. That's how powerful Scylla is. So the fact that people keep disrespecting her is so frustrating, because like, she's so crazy good at everything. Like, it's ridiculous. Anyway, but yeah, thank you for pointing that out. Put some respect on Scylla's name. Let her slap a bitch. All right. So that's the episode. Who's doing the recap?
I'll do it. I noted. So we've got the mycelium is worldwide and it's being poisoned because we ended up in the Middle East at the beginning of the episode, or the Near East. Raylla and Scylla are still dreaming, but Abigail's unhappy about it.
Fuck off, Abigail.
I think it would be Scylla and Nicta sinking the boat. Just saying, that's just part of my recap. The Cession marshals are a real thing, and they've known that all these people are going up in their land for years now. We've got some lacking of unity. Abigail.
Literally. In both episodes, it's all Abigail. Anyway, sorry. This is the recap.
Raylla is sick because the mycelium is being poisoned, and it ends up sucking her in to protect her. Petra is a badass, and Wade is loyal. Or not a bitch. Not in the Laura Neal brigade.
Yes, she's not in the Laura Neal squad. Confirmed.
Yes. Silver is an even bigger prick than we thought.
That was his growth this episode. He's worse than we thought.
His growth was not forward. It was not backwards. It was further down. I love it. Anyway, I mean, I don't love it. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. Yeah. We hate him, in case that's not clear.
Exactly. Kelly and Minerva come to an agreement, and Wade refuses to sign the bigot bill. Kelly is now going to be targeted. Penelope can reform from particles of her witch plaguey self. Abigail still doesn't trust Scylla and is being a giant a-hole. Tally is the mom. They capture Hearst and then lose him in the dumbest way possible. The Cession marshals can see through Adil's work. Raylla is with the mother, but it's a little bit creepy. I don't hear you.
It's so creepy.
It's so creepy.
No, okay, because mother has two meanings here. And
yes, it does. Exactly. And that's why I put it in all caps, because Raylla is with the mother.
The mother.
And Raylla is with her mother.
Who is the mother? It's creepy. This is not the good MILF.
No, this is not at all. Like
the good MILF. It sounds like a movie.
I need to talk to Diana about how creepy she can be. She's giving freaking Bob a run for his money over here.
Yeah, no, seriously, that was the creepiest she's ever played Mama Collar. She nailed it, but oof, it's creepy. Goddamn. But yeah.
Yeah, so
that's the episode, guys.
Who did you give your award to?
This one was hard. But okay. I had to give it to Minerva, and runner-up is Wade. Honorable mention Wade, because Wade's not a witch, so she doesn't qualify, but she gets runner-up because they were both powerful, strong Black women with the wisdom to put pettiness aside for the good of humanity. So thank you to the both of them for being like examples of like being powerful, but not like having a big witch energy measuring contest with each other because you're powerful. They like checked each other's powers and found common ground, which is like true leadership and like humble big witch energy. So that's why I give it to the two of them.
I think that's a wonderful decision. Mine went to Tally because she can see further into the future than anyone ever in the world, and she was the mom this episode, and I had to break everybody up again. Too. She was like the boss mom.
Yeah, boss mom. Yeah, she was like my second after them, so I'm glad you gave it to Tally.
Yep. Laura Neal Award.
Listen. Hey, listen, do you have a winner? I have a winner for that. I mean, are they winners? They're losers.
I have a collective loser for that.
Okay. I think, is it the squad?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to give it to Cara just for being a rude ass bitch and embodying the definition of white privilege and just everything that is wrong with society. But like, VP Silver, obviously, as her boy toy.
Blaine was right there with her on the privilege bullshit white. Ugh.
It's it makes it more gross that he's going after Wade because of that too, which I
Yes, it
hate.
does.
I hate it. So yeah, they're probably like Albin was a runner-up, but he got punched in the face, so like he doesn't win this time.
No,
Those two.
Albin got a little bit of just desserts.
Exactly.
And in the form of 2 witch fists coming for his face.
Yeah, he got a
right
knuckle sandwich, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So Lauren Hill Award goes to VP Silver and Kara for being bigoted assholes. So congrats, guys! You're the actual worst.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
The actual worst humans.
Terrible. Yeah, your character growth this episode was being worse than last episode, which is the other qualifier for this award. So you guys won. Landslide victory. Well done.
No one could defeat you.
No, not at this rate, guys. You're going all the way.
So, next episode promo.
Yes.
We're going to see the Cession marshals catch up with the fugitives.
Absolutely.
Wade is in danger, as we already called. Hurst looks like he's going to have a little surgery where they're going to implant a witch's vocal cords into him.
Yep. 100%.
Which is where my whole is he going to try to use the first song thing came into my brain.
Yeah, because if he can pull that off, then it's not augmented witches or like bastardized witches work. It's witches work. Which is just
maybe that's the only way that he can actually use witches work in a pure way. Exactly. Which is still not pure because it's gross and coming out of you, Albin. Your punchable ass face.
And your punchable I hope he gets punched again. But yes,
yeah, me too.
He does have a punchable face.
Well, anybody who doesn't want like my spoiler theory and didn't watch the speculation episode, close your ears. Because there's an episode there's an episode title that's Petra's favorite pin. I really want Scylla to shove that in Albin Hurst's brain.
Me too. I hope it's a Scylla murdering a human title.
Yep, me too.
That'd be great.
So Alder's gonna show up in a bar.
Okay, listen. Okay, okay, they don't just run into her at a bar. She's like waitressing at the bar.
What is she doing?
So we get the weirdest Talder reunion ever.
Yeah, she just like they walk into the bar and it just happens to be the bar where Alder's been waitressing this whole time, and she's like, "Hey guys,
isn't this a fan fiction?"
Yeah, like this is a fan fiction, right?
Okay, what I find super weird is when they first run into her when she's getting her tips on, she has like her eyes are like that.
Yeah.
Apparently Lynn goddess colored eyes.
Exactly.
And then when Tally's talking to her later, that's gone.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that about?
Maybe it just maybe it's one of those things where she arrives and the eyes are there, and then I don't know. Later on, it's just.
Yeah, I wonder if something changes.
Maybe.
Magically, or like, I don't know. I feel like that's significant for some reason, but I don't know why. Like, I don't know. Because she's like, oh, we're running out of time. So, like, is her time on Earth coming to an end? Like, I don't know.
Like, well, are we running out of time before the big, huge battle thing? Like, what's...
I have to get back out there and serve drinks. Our time is running out.
Listen, I don't have a lot of time. This is my second shift today. I'm covering for Barbara.
What do you want, Tally? Yeah. It can be many things.
If I don't get my tips.
Yes. Okay. Everything about this scene is going to be amazing because I assume Nicta's going to be there. Are we going to get jealous, Nicta?
Maybe.
I hope so.
I don't know. It's going to be interesting. She's going to be really focused on... Well, okay. I'm not gonna say. I don't know. I don't know. I'd have to go look, and I don't want to do that. So I'm gonna keep it to myself for now. But it looks like she's gonna give Tally. I think that she's there to give them like some instructions.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Be like, hey y'all, this is what's going on in my Mycelium land. This is what I'm doing. holla, holla, holla.
Yeah.
And I want to know, like, do you know what's going on with Raylla? Because you could put Scylla at ease.
Yeah, for sure. I wonder if she's like the mycelium messenger, kind of what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like, they had to save
Like-
Raylla, and then Alder's the replacement to like go forth and be like, okay, I need you to like, I'm getting injected with chemicals over here. Can you go stop it, Alder? And she's like, I got it. I need to get a flight, so I need money. So I have to like waitress for it.
So she comes to tell them about, hey, so this is where the poisoning's happening, but also can you tell Scylla to stop witch texting Raylla so she can rest?
Yeah, and Mama, the mycelium has taken her phone away. Like, it's fine. She gets it. Just let her sleep. Yeah, I wonder if she's the mycelium messenger. That would kind of make sense. Versus, like, Raylla's, like, their chosen fighting champion kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but that interaction's gonna be amazing and wild, and I can't wait for that.
I also feel like Alder has been out searching for something.
Right.
So maybe she's looking for the first song too.
Yes, that is 100% what's going on too. So like, there has to be a steward of the first song somewhere on Earth. Like, it's not just, maybe the mycelium doesn't have it and it's somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe there's one person in every type of witches. It's one of the Cena 6 is scattered or somewhere.
That's why it's like, is Kalita one of them? Like,
I don't know. She could be.
She could be. I don't know.
And Kalita's like, easy. I don't know what you're talking about, Alder.
That's why she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. It's not me. I just do Earth things.
I'm just the Earth girl. I teach mother tongue.
Or I wonder if it's like, again, there's 6 people. What if you have to have the 6 versions of that? So, like the 6 people, like let's say Kalita's Tareem ancestor that was there, they know their piece of the song. So you have to find the other 5 pieces across the world.
Exactly.
So that's why Alder was like in Ireland trying to like find the steward there. And she just keeps popping up. Like, she can travel through the mycelium and pops up. So she's in the Cession trying to find the Cession person that knows it. Yep. And she's waitressing for reasons. And she's like, hey guys, what are you doing here? And they're like, what?
I wanted some whiskey.
Yeah. She wandered into the bar because she was thirsty. And she's like, well, fuck, I have no money for whiskey. Can I clean tables or something?
Yeah, exactly.
And they're like, sure, all right, whatever. Anyway, so that's going to be super, super fun.
Yeah.
Let's see.
And after the storm, they do...
Oh, wait, there's a few more things.
Oh, go for it.
All right, so... we get that scene from the trailer where Nick and Scylla are breaking that window in the bus. So
right, yep, we do.
I guess they split up at some point or doing their own thing. We also get that scene where like they're approaching a cliff, so we're probably gonna bet them jumping off the cliff. Remember Tally's weird jump?
Yep.
I think that's happening too. So this is all like running from the marshals. So I guess like at least half of this episode is gonna be them running from the marshals.
And I also need to find out what the hell was in Scylla's hand in the trailer in this episode, please.
Oh, yeah. I think that's this episode, too. So, yeah, I guess we'll figure out whatever the fuck that was. I wonder if it's something Alder gives them. It'd be so random.
It would be.
Yeah. And then we also get that scene that was also in the trailer where that projectile weapon is coming at Tally and she like dodges it. So we'll figure out what that is. I assume it's from the Cession.
It's a monkey ball.
A monkey ball?
It's like this type of weapon that's so it's got the ball in the end, and yeah, it's called a monkey ball, monkey's fist, or a monkey ball.
I'm assuming that this is like the physical weapon in the Cession, like the way the Scourge is the army's physical weapon.
So it's like a knotted cord rope thing.
Yeah. And it looks like it boomerangs back when they throw it, so it doesn't just like go one direction, it circles back. Fun fact, when this is happening and Tally's doing that like Matrix move to get out of the way, you can see her vest, and her like little blue vest has horses on it. It's the cutest thing ever.
It's
so Tally. I love it. Yeah, okay, and then Wade. Shit is definitely going down in DC. There's like multiple shots of like M looking frantic running through the White House.
Yep.
And I think Wade dies in this episode. And
I don't think Wade dies.
No, you
I think
don't?
she's in danger, but I don't think she dies.
Definitely in danger.
Because of something from... Never mind. I can't tell you.
Oh.
Sorry. I just remembered that you don't know.
Okay. Well, Wade's in danger.
See, Caitlin's like, shh.
God damn you guys. I think there's a scene too of like Petra visiting Wade, like actually in the Capitol. So Petra's in the Capitol for some reason. And there's another scene of like Albin slamming his hand on a desk. And there's like a lab coat in this room. So I guess he makes it back to his lab, but things aren't going well. And there's a scene with Anacostia and Silver, and she has this like voiceover that says, I hate waiting for the enemy to go first. So like,
yeah.
The army's like watching the Camarilla and waiting for them to make some kind of move.
You called Sterling Silver again.
Oh, damn it. Sterling. Sorry, Sterling. I keep doing that.
I just wanted to clarify for the viewers / listeners.
No, please do. Yeah, that is the next episode. So it looks like another like adrenaline type of episode for the poor fugitives and poor Wade. And I think Wade also says like in this episode like oh, I like a challenge or something. So I think that like they fill her in on what's going on, like the witches, and Wade's kind of on board with whatever, like fighting back whatever this is. So I think they finally like make an alliance with Wade, the witches.
I agree.
Cool.
Yeah. I know this. Okay, so we're getting to the part of the season where we're gonna have to have some like filler episode type stuff, like to move the plot along. And I know that's probably what this next episode is going to be. Is a lot of like, all right, we're moving the story. This is, here are these pieces. We're gonna move it this way, and it's not going to be like, oh my God, the best episode ever. It's going to be like, okay, we're servicing the story here.
Yeah, we're setting up things for the plot or for the character arcs and all that stuff. So this is a building episode.
Yes.
Cool. Did you want to say anything about the After the Storm? The After the Storm was basically just Taylor talking about her accident.
Yeah, it was Taylor talking about her accident, but double confirmed that the mycelium is protecting Raylla.
Yeah. So
keeping her.
Right.
Scylla was right.
Scylla was right.
Surprise! Not
at all.
No, yeah. I'm good. Like that's pretty much it.
That's it.
Thanks for sticking with us.
Yeah.
Through this. We died a couple of times. We came back.
Sure did.
And here we are.
It's worth it, guys. We are ready. Ready for episode 3, whatever it shall bring.
Yes. Excitement. All right, let us know what you think.
Yeah. Let us know what you think. Rest up, and we will see you for episode 3.
Next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And with that, we've been Big Witch Energy. If you like this episode, check out all of our other episodes right here on YouTube. Please like, comment below, and subscribe for more amazing content. Hydrate for Lesbian Jesus.